Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Bant, Beanstalk, Control. I've made some modifications to my previous lists, mainly to allow for a third Murktide. This card is overperformed for me as a giant flying wall and as a way that you can quickly end the game against combo. So this is extremely good against tempo, and we have lots of ways to get sorceries and instants into our yard, including 3 Lorien Revealed. I've gotten out of 2 Wasteland, and so now we have this as a way to fetch lands out of our deck. So technically we have 23 land sources. Tempo is about 25% of the meta right now. It's a huge portion of the meta, so it is good to have lots of additional lands. This is also a great card to cast mid to late game, and of course we can even play it back with Mystic Sanctuary. In the sideboard, we now have Terminus and Lavinia, and we just went down to 2 Hydroblasts instead of 3. I've still got the 4 Force Negations, the 4 Consign, and the 3 Carpet of Flowers. We're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. The first round is started. We're on the play. Opponent plays a lot of lands. This is an Island Ponder Prey. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. This does have Force. But like Leyland Binding is terrible here. This is not even like our best land. If this were a Tundra, maybe it'd be different, or certainly a basic island. I think we mulligan this. Again, the goal is to not die. This is great because I can fetch plains and I can go get islands and I can just play it super slow. And that's probably how I'll do it. Actually, I think I'm just going to play Tamio and then I'll cycle next turn so I can get a clue. So the card that's going to go back is one of these, I think. Yeah, because I'll just play on basics. And we don't even need white initially. We'll use it later. But I like to get Tamio on the table as soon as possible just because she's so powerful. And then we can go get the other basic island if we need to, or we can get a Trop and go up the Beanstalk. Probably the latter. But that'll actually happen a turn from now because this is kind of like an ETB tap land. Wooded Foothills? Okay. So what you're telling me is my Tamio is going to create a clue. Big if true. Okay, let's come in. I do want to make a land drop. I'm a little bit worried they have a Wasteland. But yeah, I'm gonna go get a Trop and play it out. If I get an island though, then I have Riddler and I can just wait until I get a third land, and I'm likely to get that third land, and then I don't need to worry about Wasteland at all. I think it's fine. This may be extremely demure, but my entire operating theory of how this deck works is you just want to stay alive as long as possible, and we're doing that by not getting got. Okay, so they're on Storm. The only deck that I've ever seen play this is Storm. But they could be on something else. Bajuka Bog. Okay, so they are not on Storm. I guess they're just on like lands maybe playing this now. Red-green lands? Definitely lands with that Mox. They've been a Wasteland. So we would have probably gotten got if we'd gotten the Trop there. So I'm proud of my disciplined play there. Okay, and they've got lots of mana, but nothing to do with it. You can't waste lock the double basic player. All right, another Tamio. I think I do Warp Riddler here. I don't need to though. I can just chill. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I can crack this, and yeah, I do want to make a land drop. Ideally a fetch would be great, but I'll take a plains. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold these in case because they're so good once Beanstalk's out. It's a great end game. Okay, they're gonna do something here. Disruptor Flute. Naming Force of Will, I presume. Hopefully they get scared and name Tamio Scholar. They do. I don't think that's where I want to fight anyway. I just want to create some clues. We've got a land. Aye. So we know they have the Wasteland. If they have the Loam, they can just loam it back and waste us immediately. It's pretty scary. But we are missing a land drop if we don't play it out. Call me a coward. I'm not going to play it out. I'll just chill for a turn cycle to guarantee that I can get a Beanstalk out. Yeah. Again, we're likely to draw more land, but like I want to respect Wastelock because it's not like you can outrun Wastelock. If it starts happening, it's too late. Yeah, and so very disciplined play, just keeping this in my hand. In my opinion, they're very far ahead. I'm almost certainly going to lose this game. Bajuka Bog is not a big deal here. It does shut off Merc, but yeah. So I'll just Beanstalk here and then hopefully buy a turn cycle. Okay, so I would have actually been okay if I had done that there. I'm going to go ahead and see what I draw here first before I do anything. Okay, draw trigger. Brainstorm. I can brainstorm if they attempt to kill her, but I don't want to do that right now. I think most likely they're just going to waste me and pass. Maybe they'll have some other nasty stuff in store for me. But I did get the first Beanstalk out, which is nice. Okay, they've got Loam and Boseiju. So they can Boseiju this, but that actually helps me. They are going to waste. Yeah, we would need a lot of forces to be able to eventually resolve our up the Beanstalk here. Getting a Plains would be big if we get a chance to fetch a Plains. They don't seem to have Ghost Quarter yet, but it probably is in their 75. Disruptor Flute again. They still don't know anything in our deck. Force of Will. Okay, that's awkward. Because it's like literally our only meaningful interaction at this point. It's pretty good. I think I could just warp here. I can create a clue and just... I do want to get this Beanstalk down, but it's not worth losing a land. Let's think about this. So I could go Beanstalk here. And then they'll have to waste me again. But they already have the Wasteland in hand. Like, it's coming. Then we draw tons of cards off Quantum Riddler. We eventually find Prismatic Ending. I mean, the main thing is I can't get a basic Plains if I do this. I think I just have to chill another turn cycle. Yeah, I'll just crack a clue. Like, Warping gets me 2 cards. I guess I could have done that, but I'd likely have to go to discard. No, I wouldn't have had to go to discard. Stage. They're getting close to just killing me. Draw. Leyline Binding. It is a good card. It costs a fortune in mana. We can do that to turn off Force of Will, though. All right, so let's draw a natural card. Okay, Ponder. I think here, when I attack, and I'll just Quantum Riddler here to draw 2 cards. My kids are playing hide and seek in here if you hear kids being silly in the background. So, I could just try to ultimate with this in exile. I don't hate that. Okay, so hear me out. Okay, so we do get a card off Leyline Binding, but we don't have quite enough mana to Flipper. Oh, I could just Brainstorm and Flipper. Yeah, I think that's actually fine. So I'll Brainstorm here, Flipper, and then I will go get the thing, and I'll just Leyline Binding. So I won't have enough mana. No, I'll have 2 mana. Okay, so let's go ahead and Brainstorm first. Okay, Wasteland's nice. I'll put this back. Wait, I could just go get the thing with this, and then I don't even have to reveal this. Do I actually want more lands at this point? I don't want another Tamio. I'll do it like that. She flips. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get the... I'll play this out. I'll use this to go get the land at the Xander's Lounge. I don't know why I'll struggle with that. Now I can go get Plains. And I believe I have the 2 mana necessary to cast Leyline Binding, which will also cantrip. And then I'll just take out this one. They can blow it up, but that gives me a land, and it does tick this up. Actually, I think they may be able to do that with this on the play. Yeah, I think they could just do that. I didn't think about that. Is it in their hand? I think it is. But we'll get a land out of it. So we're getting ahead of Wastelock. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. So I'll just get I'll get a Savannah here, I guess. We are starting to run low on lands. We're not having a discard here. I guess I could have gotten a card that I could have used to cast something like a blue source, but it's fine. All right, we'll pass. So this remains intact. They can keep looping through it. I think they're almost certainly just going to get a Merit Lage pretty soon. Maze of Ith is annoying. Urza Saga is annoying. We have Wasteland, but it's like a temporary solution. Fundamentally, the fact that they have Loam going and they're getting so much card advantage is the main problem here. Okay, so I can answer that and get us some time. But we have to ask, where are we going? They didn't make a Wasteland there, so we can play out a Quantum Riddler here. They have to go to discard. Discard of Wooded Foothills. Draw trigger. Draw, rather. Force of Will is great, but again, we don't have the mana to cast it. I could warp here. I think it's worth just getting the Riddler on the table, because that is... let's see, these will be 5, 6, 6s basically when all is said and done. They will be as big as Riddler. If I waste here, they can copy it. It's really annoying, actually. I think I play this out, and then I just hold up Wasteland. Yeah, I'll just do this. I'll cast it straight up. So at least we have a creature on the table, but we're going to need a lot of these. We want to be able to compete. Draw trigger. Leyline Binding is great. I wish I still had a mana that I could use for. Unfortunately, I don't. So I'm just going to go to discard here. And then if they try to activate this, they won't activate it this turn. I'll just hold it. I'll just hold it up. I don't care about them making a dude. Discard for the turn is going to be just Tamio. We've got so many clues to crack anyway. They're basically drawing 3 cards a turn is one way to look at it with Life from the Loam. There's a Saga. So I could just waste here and then the trigger won't go on the stack. I think as soon as it comes into play, I think it takes a turn cycle. I'm going to go ahead and waste. They may have crop rotation here. I can't interact with it. But if they spend a turn Thespian Staging, that's a turn where like they're not wasting me and I can get closer to my long-term goal. Leyline Binding also does end the individual constructs. If it comes to that later, I can use it to both cantrip and attack their blockers. But I'm going to need a lot of combat. They also, I believe, have Maze of Ith. Again, the main thing is they're gated in what they can do here. Dark Depths. Leyline Binding answers that too. Graph Trigger's Cage doesn't do anything against me. I'm actually stunned that that's in their deck right now. It's not a good card in the current meta. Okay. So they do have Beseiju in their hand. I think they can stop me from taking this out with Beseiju, unfortunately. Let's think about this. So we could Beanstalk. We could Warp Riddler. I'll try that. Beanstalk, draw trigger. And if they spend like a lot of resources getting this Dark Depths token into play, even if they fight. Let's see. How many lands do I have left in my deck? I'm not sure that I have very many. I do have enough islands that I can go get the other card and it'll do something here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to combat. They're going to attempt to make it. Then I Leyline Bind. Then Leyline Binding guy blocks Quantum Riddler and I lose Quantum Riddler. But then I just Prismatic End the Leyline Binding token. Okay, so that didn't work. They didn't fall for it. So what I do now is I can ponder, try to find a plow. I could actually just play out a Tamio as another blocker. I don't hate that. And then this way they have to also have Sajiri Step. Oh no. I'm going to draw. Okay, so if they do it in the end step, then I've already drawn. Have I drawn my cards? I think I did because I drew off Beanstalk. I drew... What is that? How many cards have I drawn this turn? I drew off Beanstalk. Okay, yeah. So, and I cast the Ponder. So this will not flip her, so she'll be able to block. And then we'll be able to Prismatic End. Okay, so let's go here. I'll set a stop. I do believe they're going to make it here, which is fine. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I will let that happen. Then I'm just going to attempt to do this, and then they're going to Leyline Bind. Or they're going to hit my Leyline Binding. Okay, so I'll do this now. And again, I've drawn 2 cards, so this should not flip my Tamio, but they are going to be able to kill this. And then I just block, and then I just Prismatic End it next turn. This is going to give me a land at least. Okay, Beseiju, that's fine. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. And if they have like a crop rotation or something like that, it's pretty rough. There's actually not anything I want to put on top of my deck. I'm just going to grab this for now. Okay, and if they can clear this somehow, then we're just dead. They mill a Loam, Urza Saga, Thespian Stage. I've used so much clock on this game, it's not even funny. I'm going to have to really hurry for the next ones. Okay, they grab up another Beseiju, but it doesn't affect me, I don't think. They can do it to stop it again. Land for turn is Urza Saga. It takes them a lot of turns because they never found, what's it called? So I can just jump here. It takes them a lot of turns to make another one. And if I find another Wasteland, I've got one more on my deck, then I can slow them down even further. Right. Okay, plow's not what I want to do, but it is an option here. I shouldn't have done that, by the way. I should have... yeah, so I'll go ahead and end this. And I can't force, if necessary here. Crop rotation, so this is just a force. I have to pay 3 mana. And I'll just pitch Tamio, I guess. I get 2 draw triggers. Do you have another crop rotation? Leyline Binding. So they do not have... They do have the card in hand, but... Yeah, they do have the green mana to pay for it, too. Let's see if they fight this. Okay, it's ended. Right, I think I just warp a Riddler to get more cards. Is that right? I think it's fine. I could just keep my cards up and just crack some of these clues. It's not a big deal. Yeah, as long as they have access to Boseiju, it's going to be really hard to beat them. I'll just pass. I can always put Prismatic Ending on top to clear one of these. If they have a must counter card, I can put Force on top, and then, yeah, I won't be able to do it. Okay, so the card for the turn is Maze of Ith. I just want to go ahead and put, I think, Prismatic Ending on top. I could put Force on top. I think that's fine. I could deck myself if I don't have a way to get through this Maze of Ith soon. Okay, so I think the line is we go ahead and do this. We draw a ton of cards. Okay, Prismatic Ending's nice. Plow's nice. Our last card is Beanstalk. I'm not going to be casting that. I'll play this out. I'll just attack and I'll pass. They're going to maze it. Next turn I can attack for more. I've got lots of options here. I think that's fine. I'll just pass. Okay, so now at this point I can just kill that token, which I think makes sense. Do I want to go ahead and just get the land out of the deck so I don't accidentally draw it? We'll go white. Leyline Binding, I'll draw 2 cards. And this cleanly removes it. I've still got 3 mana up. If they do something force-worthy, I'll just pass. Beanstalk is discarded, and I'll discard a Brainstorm. 20 cards in the deck. 9 minutes on the clock is what I'm really worried about. Okay, so they get to do the search here. We'll see what they search for. Maze of Ith is really annoying. I need to find my other Wasteland, and then I can do a lot of damage here. That's fine. I don't want to have to plow anything because it just creates so much life for them that they can just cower behind this Maze of Ith for so long. Okay, another Mox Diamond. That's fine. It's more mana. That's being staged. So they can copy the Maze of Ith infuriatingly. So, yeah, I don't know if like I should probably concede here, but I feel favored if I didn't have the clock issue. I think I'm just going to go in with both of these and see what they do. I think they probably maze one. And then they can copy the other one. I'm going to get a Wasteland here, hopefully off the top. I'm going to cast another Riddler. If they play like Tabernacle, it's so annoying. Like I'll probably just concede to that because it will just take up all my clock. Come on, Wasteland. Okay, that didn't work. All right, but we do have 3 threats to their 2 cards. Okay, Beanstalk. I'll just go to end step. 8 minutes. It's a really long game one. Okay, they're just going to copy Maze and just be cowards. That makes sense. I don't even care about my life here if they want to attack me with that construct. I definitely could have done something about it. I just was too focused on clock. Okay, and I should have probably kept a little bit differently. I've got 16 cards left in my deck. They do have Tabernacle. You know what? If they play that out, I'll just skip the match. I don't even want to play against it. I'm so frustrated with this card. It's just, on MTGO, it's a nightmare to play against. And, you know, a lands player, they've got to be like, look, like, oh, wow. It takes so much time to beat my deck. I can just troll them with this Tabernacle. I will force that. I'll pitch Lorien Revealed, which doesn't have any targets, and I'd be crazy to cast it at this point. If we find a Wasteland, they're dead. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Not going to lose any attackers here. I'm just going to go full bore. Let's find that Wasteland. Come on, deck. Wasteland, please. Any order to shuffle. Murktide's nice and all, but it's just too slow. All right. Well, I guess we're going to just end this here so I don't die. That'll just force the next loam effect. I'll take 4 and they're dead next turn. All right. Yeah. Oh, they messed up. They messed up. They mazed the same one twice. No. Yeah. Wow. They punted. I mean, like, it would have probably cost me a lot of extra time. Wow. This is a really frustrating matchup. It's probably frustrating for them too, because like they were doing everything. I mean, I had it anyway. Terminus, no. Lavinia, I don't think she's good. She just stops like the Moxen. Consign's okay. It's really just the force negations come in, the plows come out completely. So had I been thinking a little bit more, I would have definitely prismatic ended like a turn earlier on the construct, so I wouldn't be at 7 and I wouldn't have to sweat that. And then I also would have played the Merc just as like yet another win con. I was just like so desperately just trying to find a Wasteland that I got tunnel vision there. Sometimes the clock does that to you. So I'm ready to go back in, and we're just going to try to play very quickly here. I will, if I get bad mulligans, I will just immediately concede and hope to win the final game. This is a snap keep. Insane hand. So you shut off Loam, you shut off their deck. I can even open Island Tomio so that they can't waste me here. So I just want to point out, we beat Wasteland. We beat so many things last game. That was a really epic game. And I'm glad that I captured it, even if I'm not going to win this one. Okay, they're not doing anything. I'm just going to create a clue. Pass. The second island up. No, I'm going to flip her. Because that's a way that I can win quickly. She's going to Tomio Heaven. All right, these are great. Don't really need the Leyline Binding. It's the weakest card here. Do I need this? I can put it back and draw it if I want it. We'll see what they do here. But yeah, I'm just going to go to Tomio Heaven, and then I should be able to win from there. It'll take a lot of clock, but there's not going to be a game 3. So this is one of the skills I've developed, is just like the ability to say, okay, there's not going to be a game 3. I think here I do want to go ahead and fetch a basic island here, and I'm just going to play on blue. This is going to be a mono blue deck for this game. It's good. I'm going to just chill with this up as a defense mechanism. I'm not going to use it proactively. Okay, and we'll chill. Crop rotation, no thanks. Nice try. Red Elemental Blast. I'll just counter that straight up. Okay. So we still have Force blue card. Again, if we draw half our deck, it doesn't matter how many cards we have in our hand. We can force again if we need to. But now Murktide is a win con. I'm really loving this second island. How good was that there? Being able to like hardcast the force. All right. I think I probably keep Murktide as just a backup win con if they do clear this. Now that they're going so low. And I can win over the course of like 2 or 3 turns. Stage. They could just turbo me here. They do have Loam. All right. I am going to waste one of these probably just for time consideration. Leyline Binding doesn't help at all. I'm going to try to ultimate them. I might be able to make a land drop here. I think this is a Wasteland. Just going to hit the utility land. They don't have crop rotation up. All right, and now they have to like loam, and that's going to take up their entire turn. If they have to regrow loam, they're not going to be able to pyro me. If they have a third pyro, it's very scary though. And I want to point out that like I chose to fight the way I did, and now I'm vulnerable to loam. So I'll just scoop pretty quickly if they can clear this, and if they can clear the Merc. But Merc will be a 7/7, so it'll be a 3 swings type thing. They said unbelievable. Okay, yeah, that was great. Great luck. That would have been a way that we could lose. But instead, we are going to win by a healthy margin. Let's go ahead and minus here. And if they want to keep playing, they're welcome to keep playing. But I will win this game. I'm not going to let them win. Okay, so I think this is just a matter of we play this out and we have Leyline Binding up. We'll have a bunch of forces up. I could play a Merc here. I'm not going to lose this game. I'm not going to sweat time. I've got 5 minutes. Merc closes quickly. Merc will be a 7/7. I don't have Wasteland in my deck. I did not... Oh, I can go get a Plains. If I get Plains, then I can just deal with this. 1, 2, 3. No, I can't. I can go get a Savannah and deal with it. I think the simple thing to do is just do that. No, because... Yeah, they're not going to be able... Like, if they make it, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to go ahead and kill them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. All right. And I've got only 2 forces here. But I will force a loam. Force of negation. Okay, so let's force this. Pitching. Lorien revealed. Okay. They have Yavimaya, which actually helps me. I'll just take a natural draw here. And I guess I could just go get a Tundra here. Or a Plains. All right, and so each land is a forest already, so I don't need to worry about that. So what I can do is I can play this out. Then I can Merc again. I'm pretty far from doing that, actually. I will play it, and I'll plus. And then... Oh, I think I just go ahead and cantrip a couple times to fill up my yard. Find more waste. Forces is really all I'm looking for. Any order shuffle. Let's find another force. Come on deck. I'm almost done. Yes. Okay, so I don't need that ley line. I'll just take this force. This is great. Now we just... I could attack here. They might be able to find a way to make it. Is that a concern? I don't think it is. I think I just attack and try to get this over with. Because they would have to also waste me. Now, actually, there is a way. If they crop rotate and then they can make it, that would be pretty devastating. Because they would take away... Like, if they took away the green, then I don't have domain. It's fine. Activating. This is fine. I think. Maze of Ith. That's fine. That's I have a Wasteland on top of my deck, I believe. So I'll just waste it. Okay, I'll just waste here. And then I can add 10 power to this. It's not enough to kill him, but it's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what I'll do is I will also regrow the remaining force negation. Okay. Okay, and now that grows them both. I'll just go ahead and attack for most of their life total here. And I've got lots of forces up. There's no way they're getting out of this. I will pass. You should just concede if your opponent Tomio Ultimates. Like, frankly, it's not worth your time to try to beat them. If they're a reasonably competent player, they're almost always going to beat you. Good games. Round 2, we're up against a possible Delver player on the play, or they're on the play, we're on the draw. We do have a pretty nice hand that Lorien reveals cycles, and we have double force if they're doing any nonsense over there. I mean, this is like why you put Lorien revealed in your deck. It's just so good at fixing. I mean, this could have sold spells. They could have kept the hand to just have this tied to the hand together. I am seriously considering just forcing this. But that could be like totally wrong because they got this for free. I'm going to let them do it. And then I've got 2 forces up. But the pause might have belied the fact that we do have force in our deck if they're on oops or something. They choose Wasteland. Okay. Are we going to play against lands every freaking round? I don't know why so many people are playing lands right now. In one of the previous videos, I played against it twice in a row. And it looks like I'm going to open this one with twice in a row as well. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have force negation in our deck, but they do have this instead. I think we just have to waste this. I don't like it. They have the waste. They are going to waste our Savannah. We are going to have to get basics. Hear me out. We could just play the Wasteland. They probably won't waste it. They'll probably want to be able to produce a dude here. And then I can just Lorien cycle in the end. Yeah, I'll just do that. This also hides what we're doing over here. But I don't, like, as much as I want to respect Urza Saga, like I can just go completely over the top of that. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, and I'm not sure if they'll even want to waste this because again, they'd be giving up on a dude. I think we have to get non-basics here. Tundra's our most important colors. We're going to use the Savannah here to draw. Okay, they're opting not to waste. All right, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, we're not going to have green source, so we're going to have to pay a lot for Leyline Binding, but I'm going to do this. Now our force is cantrip. All right, Mystic Sanctuary, not a good draw, but it is a land that we can deploy in a pinch. Basically, we just have to outrun Loam if they find Loam. There's construct number 1. Construct number 2. It'll be interesting to see whether they try to needle us. They'll probably just try to line up another land, line up another Urza Saga so they can go wide with these. They tap their Wasteland. They could have another Wasteland in hand. It's worth noting they did discard 1 to Mox Diamond. Leyline Binding deals with 1 cantripping, and then we just have to deal with 1 more. They grab Lava Spur Boots. Okay, they do have Boseiju, but they're opting to use it to equip this to do more damage. This might actually work out really well for us because we'll have 3 mana to exile 1 of these. So far, they've given us nothing to force other than the Mox Diamond, which I don't think was a good call to force. Okay, so now we can just go get the... yeah, I think I go get... Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go get the one that makes these really cheap to use. Like the one card we don't have, or we have, if we get Xander's Lounge, we've got Domain. And then I can even waste this Wasteland, and then they won't be able to waste me, and they'll just be attacking for 4, I think. And that's very manageable. That's not the end. And we will be cantripping off this too, so we might find like a plow along the way. I'm going to go ahead and do this now just to get maximum information, but I'm almost certainly want to just waste that Wasteland. And I can get another land if I want to in the end step. We'll just take this one. The other one has Ward. Now I'll waste this, and now we just need to keep them back for a couple turns with forces, cantripping forces, and then find a plow for this. Crop rotation, that's a force. I'll force pitching Ponder because I would like to brainstorm and shuffle some of these cards back. Another Beanstalk. That'll be good if the game goes on, but we do have to deal with this first. Bajuka Bog, that is not that big of a setback, considering we're very far from Mystic Sanctuary. So it's worth noting that I do have a shuffle with Lorien revealed. Yeah, I'm just going to force pitching Lorien revealed. So that was very good, what happened there. So they can come in for 4, but they don't have a lot else going on. They've already made their land drop. Yeah, so I can't shuffle anymore. Let's see if I draw a fetch. Or Lorien. Either of those would be fine. Riddler. We're dead to this thing, actually. I think I need the Ponder here. Gosh, it'll really suck if I lose. How many outs am I drawing to? Because I can pay for the ward. So I just need to exile the dude. And then we're in a pretty strong position. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to start with a... So what I can do is I can brainstorm, and then if that doesn't hit, I can ponder on top of that. But pondering first sees the most. So I just need to survive. That's the priority here. Okay, this doesn't work, unfortunately. Any order shuffle. Come on, deck, don't do this to me. Oh my goodness, I think we're screwed because I can't remove that. Yeah, I think I'm screwed. Let's see. So I can go ahead and brainstorm, and now I have to hit Prismatic Ending exactly. I can remove the Lava Spur Boots, and then I only take 3. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, devastating. Devastating loss. We had so many freaking draws. We had 9 outs in our deck when I brainstormed, and yeah. Can't believe I lost that one. Can't believe it. Shocking. Stunning. Like we were in an incredible position. Lands on the draw. That was pretty brutal. But we have our force negations that we bring in. We'll be taking these plows out. I think that's it. That's what we've been doing in previous rounds. We still have Prismatic Ending and Leyline Binding to deal with the constructs. Trying to think if was there anything I could have done differently. Leave a comment with a timestamp if I was too cavalier about just building up value, but it didn't feel like anything I did was wrong. I did need to force those crop rotations. And to an extent, like we were lucky that game because they didn't have Loam. I mean, had they had Loam, it would have been another Wastelock game, which I've managed to fight through a lot of Wastelock lately just by virtue of forcing a whole lot of stuff, forcing Loam a lot of times. But yeah, like, man, I really felt betrayed by our deck there. All right, game 2. I mean, this hand is fine. If we open Xander's Lounge, we can up the Beanstalk and we can Leyline Bind. Murktide is a great finisher. I'm going to keep this. This just basically hopes that they don't start wasting us immediately. But it has lots of land. Like, if they just have natural Wastelock and something like Exploration, we probably lose. But you can't be too greedy when it comes to mulliganing because you do need a certain density of lands to be able to survive. Like Wasteland is everywhere. I think one of the previous videos that I published like last week, it was just insane. Like, I think I went up against like 4 different Wasteland decks. I don't think there have ever been more Wastelanding in a league video than that episode. It was the 5-0 trophy with a previous version of Bant Beanstalk. But like, I think I got wasted like 16 times or something like that. It was crazy in the league. So let's go ahead and just play out our lounge and we'll pass. Like, this is a big waste me sign that we just put on our back here. Okay, that's a scary start. That's being stage. Expedition map. Okay. Very scary. We just have to hope they don't have the loam. I think this is just Trop Beanstalk. And if we find a force, that's great. But we'll have Leyline Binding online, assuming they don't go get a Wasteland and start wasting us. I think they may just go get the... this is fine. They may just get Merit Lage and try to go that line, but they may have Wasteland plus Merit Lage. But they're not going to be able to do it this turn, I don't think, because it costs 2 mana to crack this unless they are also playing Ancient Tomb. Another Exploration. Okay. Saga. All right. So they can copy Saga and make it infinite. What? Oh, my goodness. And you know what? They probably have access to Sejiri Step. They've dumped their entire hand on turn 2, and they still have lots of things to do. So we have a multi-front assault, basically in the air and on the ground. It's going to be really rough. Options. 1, we brainstorm away this Mystic Sanctuary, which sucks. We only have 1 white source. If they waste anything, then we no longer have the ability to remove this. I do think we start with the brainstorm here. Okay, Prismatic Ending is nice. I don't have the white source to deal with that. I do want to shuffle. Tamio is something like we could just put a Tamio in the air and that serves as a backup blocker in case they can somehow, get out from under. Like, I'm pretty sure they're going to go for it here. I can put back Merc. He's a little ways away. So just to be clear, we have Domain once we get the planes. So if they're patient and they waste us first, then we won't be able to clear them. But we could use a combination of blocking for a turn with Tamio plus Prismatic Ending to get our way out, fight our way out of this. It is really nice that Tamio flies because she's like Dark Depths is just maybe the worst it's ever been because of all the Kozilek's command and stuff. But Tamio being a flying blocker that's also the most commonly played creature is nice too. Okay, so I think they're just going to go get Sejiri Step and they're going to try to attack through. But they may get Wasteland, which would be terrifying. They don't have the mana to make it this turn. Karakas. Okay, so they're going to use Karakas to try to bounce it. That's not that big of a deal. Scary thing is they're threatening this on top of everything else they're doing over there. Oh, they have a Wasteland too. What am I ever supposed to do? How am I ever supposed to beat this deck? I'm trying not to be tilted. But like they just waste this and then we'll never have domain. All right, so they are indeed wasting our Xander's Lounge. So now they have clear airspace. Again, the only silver lining is that they don't yet have a way to... so I'll just get Tundra here. And then I'm going to Lorien Revealed cycle, I guess, just to get another land out of our deck. I don't know if that's correct. It is something we can do with our mana. Let's go get a Trop. Again, I don't think we can win if we try to play on basics here. They're just asking too many questions, and as a control deck, we just don't have enough answers. So my hope is, so they go 1, 2, 3, copy, and then they can't make a dude. But if they play it slow, it's pretty scary. So I'm just going to play a Trop here, and I'll just pass with Leyline Binding up if they make it. Okay, they're just creating a construct. It's fine. So at least now I have a good target for Leyline Binding. I'm going to let this go. They're going to copy the Urza Saga probably. So they can just make constructs for the rest of time. Now we need to find a Wasteland. Not a single basic land between the two of us. So Dark Depths is unlikely to happen this turn, but we'll see what they drew for turn. They are copying it. Again, if we can find a Wasteland, it's all good. We have a Ponder to find that, but I kind of need to just hold up 3 mana for the rest of the game. So that we can Leyline Bind. It's a pretty adverse situation. Oh, they have Lava Spur Boots, so they can actually equip the Dark Depths right now. If they have enough mana. Moving that over there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they can. Yeah, I just have to accept this, unfortunately. I think I let this go through. Next turn, I Prismatic End the Lava Spur Boots itself. And then they can just basically reach it on port 3 of my lands. I think they're smart enough to realize that I have a Leyline Binding in my hand. The other option is I could go ahead and Leyline Bind, and I could just hope to find... I mean, because Leyline Binding is the only thing I've got going on, as long as they have this Karakas. I can find a Wasteland. They won't be able to interact on the stack with that, but I'm just going to hit this, and they can copy it again with the current mana available. I'm really struggling to find a way out of this. I can't afford to hit the construct itself with Leyline Binding. I do want to get deeper into my deck. I am going to go ahead and just hit the boots. That takes away one angle of them being able to do stuff. But like this may seem like suicidal. Like, okay, what are you going to do when they make the thing? And I don't know. I don't have a good answer. But I'm going to try to find another answer. But I can't just sit still and do nothing here. This draws me a card, which is a good card. It's a force. Yeah, because I can't target that itself, unfortunately. They could potentially blow this up. They don't have any cards in hand. I think this is just going to be a classic end step Dark Depths, and I won't have an answer for it, unfortunately. So I can play this out. They don't have the mana to make it and to Karakas my Tamiyo back to hand. I already played my land for turn. They may get greedy and make it, and no, they can just untap and then they can Karakas, and I don't have recourse. So I need to find something else to do. If I can ponder into another Dark Depths, that's good enough. Or ponder into another Leyline Binding. Let's try that. See if we can get lucky here. I don't think these are keepable. Again, we need Leyline Binding exactly. I'm pretty sure we just lose here because we don't have a land drop, so we won't be able to Leyline Bind. We could hit a Murktide. That's what we hit. We hit Murktide exactly, and we can still survive. Let's try that. There is the Leyline Binding. Unfortunately, that's not going to be good enough here. I'm just going to assume they'll see the line, but I'll go ahead and do the play. Play out the Tamiyo here. And then I'm threatening like Brainstorm, but... Oh, they can't make it. Yeah, they can just make it now, and then they can Karakas, and they've got the clean hit. It's so frustrating. I really tried my best, my excellent friends. I'm sorry that I can't win this one. Yep. Oh, so they're not going to make it. Okay, well, then we have an extra turn. I think they screwed up. They just pass. They make it, then they pass, then they do that. So maybe they're so tunnel vision on just killing me with constructs that it didn't occur to them that they had a clean line. But now I'm going to be able to Lorien Revealed and have 3 mana up and continue to build my mana base. They found the loam, so this is a force. It has to happen. Tamio is a great pitch considering she's completely held back by the Karakas here. And now we have to find a force negation. We know our top card is a land, so unfortunately we're going to draw that. I might actually Lorien Reveal just to avoid drawing that, because I don't want to draw an even more land. They're not hitting us for a lot yet. They can't even make constructs yet. Yeah, I'll just do this now so I don't have to draw the land that's on top. I will get a... I can put a force on top, actually. That's not terrible. Yeah, I'll do that. Then I have a force pairing with my Riddler. I'm going to... Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this out. I'll put a force on top. Okay. Now we have 2 forces. So I could go ahead and Leyline Riddler, draw 2 cards. I don't hate that. And then I still have Leyline Binding mana up. We just need to find a Wasteland for that eventually. I could just play it out, but it'll just die in combat. I'm almost certain they're going to make it this turn. Okay, so we get a force. Riddler comes in. We get another card. It's a Flooded Strand. Okay, I'll pass. Okay, I pass priority, and they're copying a second copy of this. So they're going to have a lot of constructs coming in. Nothing I can do, unfortunately. I can start prismatic ending them, but they are going to completely overwhelm me here. I need a Murktide pretty badly. And then if I ever manage to clear all these constructs, they have the Merit Lage coming too. All right. I'll probably just Leyline Bind just to get deeper into my deck. Like, I can't hang out and just wait for them to use Dark Depths. I do have 2 more of these in my deck that I can draw to. Let's see what their card for turn is. Did they loam? Yeah, they did. So I'll have to force loam here. And I'll have to force pitch force, unfortunately. Well, I could Leyline Bind first. Yeah, I think I just Leyline Bind first. And then I don't take this damage. And then I draw a card. And hopefully it's a blue card so I don't have to pitch force to force, because I definitely don't want to have to pitch that if I can avoid it. Again, this may seem like sclerotic play. We're not addressing the explorations on... Yeah, of course, we didn't get a blue card. We got yet another land. I've been very flooded this game, despite my efforts to like put lands back and shuffle away. We do still have a couple lands we can fetch. I presume they're going to go ahead and loam here, and I need to find the force of negation. But again, I'm like totally dead to Dark Depths. So this is a force, and we do get a card for this. Hopefully it's not a land. Or if it's a land, hopefully it's a Wasteland. Oh, Leyline Binding. That's a good card. Okay. So they're chilling. They're going to make another dude, or they'll make a Merit Lage. One of the two. But unfortunately, I won't be able to hit the dude with Prismatic Ending, so I might have some excess mana floating around this turn. I would like to cast this from exile eventually. Prismatic Ending. I guess I could go for this. Get 2 cards. I won't be able to Leyline Bind, but we'll have a big blocker. I think that's better than completely standing still here. I do want to fetch an island out of my deck, but that does give them an island they can target, and then they have like the ability to... they have a targetable, like a non-wastable source of constructs if I do that. What other lands do I have in my deck? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got Savannah in my deck. I can go get a Savannah. I'll do that. I'm going to do that before I draw, just to minimize the amount of lands. All right. So now let's go ahead and play them out. Blue, blue, blue. I'll keep white up just to pretend that I have plow, but I don't. Draw trigger. Lorien Revealed. Draw trigger. If this isn't force negation, I think we're probably dead. It is force negation. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. All right, we'll pass. Nothing to... like, I could start taking away their explorations, but I don't think that's going to be necessary if I can just force the loam. Looks like they're just making a construct. Oh, they're copying... Wait. They're having that copy something else. Oh, Savannah? Okay. Why? Just so it doesn't die, I guess. I mean, I'll welcome the reprieve, but we've got our work cut out for us. I'd love to get that Dark Depths off the table. Tabernacle in the yard too. Okay. Interesting. Why not cast it? What are you doing? I guess they're going to make 2 constructs this turn cycle is what they're planning to do. All right. Zeal. Okay, Plains gives them something they can target. I don't like that. Options. I mean, we could actually just die. I can start attacking, but that seems dumb. What do I need? I need more. I mean, I need a Wasteland. If I Lorien Revealed, I'll draw 5 cards or 4 cards. But then I don't have Prismatic Ending up unless I want to play out the land, which I think it's still fine. Blue. Yeah, this might be a dumb decision here, but I mean, I really do want to find a Wasteland here. Okay, there's up the Beanstalk. Oh my goodness, deck! What the hell, deck? Come on, 3 lands. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep composed, but like I'm so screwed. It's not even funny. Yeah, I'll just play this out. I mean, like, what am I supposed to do? I need to make a land drop. These don't fetch anything. There's no fetchables left in the deck. Yeah, we're done. I'm gonna discard a bunch of freaking fetch lands. What a nightmare. I have to keep this back because I don't have the sky covered yet. Yeah, these been brutal. The flood is brutal. Like, I'm halfway into my deck, and I think I've literally drawn all my lands. I think there might be like 1 or 2 fetch lands left in the deck. They're copying my Savannah instead of my island, which is naive, in my humble opinion. Like, why not copy this basic island? Maybe they're just confident that I don't have Wasteland. Okay, they make a dude. Buy useless fetches. And the crazy thing is I didn't draw a single blue card, so if they loam, I'm just dead. I'm sorry. This is like the most painful match against lands ever in my life. I'm not exaggerating. It's just like everything has gone absolutely wrong. And our opponent's taken like the slowest of trains to victory here. There's the first of many resources we will inevitably lose. What the hell? How are they not loaming? I just don't understand. I don't understand why they're not loaming. Okay, so they're giving us a chance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go green-blue. We're going to go up that Beanstalk. You better believe it before I murk. And I am going to murk. And we're just going to try to stand up enough blockers. There's the Wasteland. My goodness. What do we want to take out? We can just chill and we wait till they activate something. And then we take it out. And then let's go blue. Blue. We have to find a blue card off. Well, technically we do have Hardcast Force. But I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, is that right? I mean, technically, I don't want to exile my my force. So I go. I'm happy exiling brainstorms and stuff. Okay, that should be 8/8. Okay, double trigger. Come on, blue cards. I think I've only got blue cards. What? I still have fetches apparently, and my deck really wants to give them to me. Okay, I did find a blue card for Force of Negation. Now I can come in for my first hit. And then they're dead in like 2 turns, assuming they don't do something dramatic. Even if they create 2 constructs here, it's not the end of the world. I can bind one of them. I'll probably just waste one of these if the opportunity presents itself. Let's pass. And I will discard yet another fetch land. Okay, so they're creating the first creature. All right, I'm not going to flinch. They have to make the second one, and then I can waste. Okay, and at this point, I do think this is just, we waste one of these things. And I do think this is the correct target. Because you've got some 3/3s and you can make another one. And you can have a bunch of 4/4s. Is that enough? That might actually be enough. I think if we can make it through this turn, we'll make it. I've got 5 minutes to win game 3. This has been brutal. I played this at Eternal Weekend 2023, like Bant Beans versus lands, and I did go to time. And I learned so much from that match. It was against like a dedicated lands player. All they play is lands. And of course, it went to time. Like, I don't even think we finished 2 games. This is probably like the most grindy matchup imaginable. So this is a forced negation here. I mean, I think we've got this game won at this point, but I might be wrong. Because I just prismatic end 2 of those things, and then I leyline bind, and then they can create this. I can just leyline bind that. Okay, I think they should have made another dude, but they're probably going to do that after blocks. And then I can just hold back the other guy. Yeah, they're doing this now. Okay. So I'll take 8 and I'll drop to 4, but I've got all of these covered. Draw force for turn. Okay, so let's think about this. So I'm just going to go quickly here. I don't have a ton of time. Bind. Or end. Then we'll end. Just trying to make sure I don't die. Okay, and now they can make another guy, but I don't even really care because I can just... I think I just attack them with this. Well, I'm worried that they're going to get... Yeah, I can just leyline bind. I want to just get them dead in case like they find like Mazavith or something like that. That would be really annoying. So I do have hardcast force, but if they make... I think I've just got it. They can make Merit Lage if they want. Rumble is... I can just force that. I think it's safer to just let it go. Tabernacle would be really annoying. I'm at 5 minutes. I can't believe how grindy this is. I didn't expect to win. They did find Mazavith. It's not going to be enough. They can copy Mazavith. Oh no. They can copy Mazavith and stay alive that way. I'm just going to draw. I'll draw 2 cards and get rid of this. Okay, another Riddler. So that will be our win con after we clear this. Even with their Mazavith. I mean, I respect this deck, but it's really not fun to play against. It's just like layer after layer of defense that's uncounterable. It's designed to eat decks like ours alive. It's a miracle that we've done as well as we have. Wasteland, please. If I just find a Wasteland, they're dead. I'm going to go ahead and try to find it. I'm going to any order shuffle this. Come on, Wasteland. Okay, let's ponder again. I need to end this quickly so I can end them. Any order shuffle. Come on, just give me the Wasteland, please. I've got one left, right? Okay, Beanstalk. So I think I just Riddler here. They could make the thing. I'll draw some cards here. I don't know how risky this is. I have force up, so it's not that bad. Okay, I have Merc up now. I'll play this out. Get another trigger. Is it Wasteland? It is not. I'm going to play this out. I will just go to combat with everything. They're probably going to make Merit Lage. But if they do that, they won't be able to copy Mazavith to save themselves. Okay, they are making Merit Lage. I mean, I could die here if they have Sajiri Step from hand. Crop rotation I can stop. Okay. If they can block one, and then they can maze the other. That's fine. Either of these threats is lethal. Okay, so I'll just... they still have the freaking Caracas. I guess I can play this out. I don't think it's bad to do so. And then I'll just... I can't really F6 because I might have to force a crop rotation. So they can Caracas here. That's fine. And then they attack. And then I block. Then I just deploy even more threats next turn. All right, you're blocked. Okay. I can't... Like, them not loaming those turns when I didn't have... force negation. There's no reason I should still be playing this game. I should have lost like 8 or 9 turns ago. It's turn 11. I probably should have lost like turn 3. They had an insane hand. Let's force that. Pitch my Tommy. All right. Do we find the Wasteland? We do. Okay. We win. I believe we win. Unless I have something else to do. All right. Let's just waste here. And then let's attack for lethal. Okay, they didn't have crop rotation. That's good. I would have had to brainstorm and desperately look for a force there if they did. Unbelievable that we won that game, but 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's go to the lab and figure out how we can potentially win in such an insane short period of time. I don't like Plow here. I mean, Tamio's off. She's terrible. They always seem to have Caracas. Consign's better than Tamio because it can at least maybe punch a hole. Lavinia doesn't do anything against their deck. Terminus is a slow card. I don't want to bring my Plows back in because they actually like increase the clock. Like if we plow a Merit Lage, there's no way we'll ever win in time. I think I'm just going to run it like this. Consign does so little against their deck, but it's better than Tamio. Even if we Tamio Ultimate, there's no way we'd have time. We need to get on the Murktide Express here. We've got 3 Murktides. This is good enough. Just turn 1 me. Shadow Realm me, please. Don't make me freaking play this out. It's so painful. Yeah, they have like a god hand, basically. If they have Loam, it's GG. And I don't even have to play anymore because I can tell you with confidence, yeah, they've got double Wasteland here. They do have Loam. Malevolent Rumble, this most likely finds Loam. It does. I'm done. I'm sorry. If you wanted to watch me play, struggle against this deck, it's a terrible matchup. They had Tabernacle. They had Loam. We had no answer to Loam coming. I'm going to try to pull myself together for the next game, but that was incredibly frustrating. All right, starting fresh, round 3. We're 1-1. Hopefully not against a Lands player. Unknown opponent. They do play Vintage. I don't mind keeping a double force hand against a Vintage player. I'm going to keep this. They mulliganed. It's worth noting that if we like pitch enough forces, we can use Riddler to recover, but I probably will be pitching Riddler to force if they cast some sort of crazy spell. Chalice on 1. Let's think about this. I don't think we go for this. We have so many removal spells, but I want to pull out my deck just to be sure. Okay, so we have 16 1-drops in our deck, effectively. That's a significant portion of our deck that's off. However, we do have 6 ways of removing this. Currently, we have 0 1-drops in our hand. I'm just going to hope that we draw blue 1-drops that we can actually... I'm getting Eldrazi vibes. Beanstalk's great. So I'll just play this out. And then we'll chill with Unwastable Mana Source. And the next turn, we'll try to Beanstalk. And we'll hope to not have to force until after Beanstalk. Nexus, okay. So they're on some sort of big mana deck. Could be like the Blue Post with Chalice instead of Disruptor Flute. Usually they choose one or the other. Thunder Trap Trainer. That's not a force. So they're on the Blue Post. And again, force will be so much better once up the Beanstalk is down. They are getting into One Ring territory. Stock up. Okay. That is probably something I'll need to force once I'm under the Beanstalk. I'm going to go ahead and just... They're not a Wasteland deck. I'm going to go ahead and get my Xander's Lounge. And then I've got all my colors. I've got like full domain. Okay. That is a blue card for force. I like it. Let's go ahead and play this. Blue, green. Up the bean. All right, that's not forced. Another force. Love it. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'll definitely force pitching Lorien Revealed on this stock up, if that's what they cast here. They need 1 more mana, and then they can filter into blue with this. That works. I guess if you're a Vintage player, like apparently stock up is extremely good in Vintage. So everybody's playing it over there. Let's go ahead and try this. I won't pitch, like, I'm certainly tempted to pitch the Riddler, but it does represent 2 cards here. Okay, they let it resolve. That's a brick, unfortunately, due to the Chalice. But it'll be good later. Maybe, actually. It's probably not even good against their deck. But I can't Brainstorm it back, unfortunately, because Brainstorm's off too. Okay, so we'll take 1. Not a big deal. They've done a lot of damage to themselves. They're already at 14. Let's draw for turn. Tamio also pitches to force. I think this is just Quantum Riddler turn. I'll play this out. Well, it's Riddler, because if I can take them off that Ancient Tomb, that does a lot to crimp their mana. Leyline Binding, I love it. All right, I could just bind anything at instant speed. So I'll play this out and I can go get a Tundra and I'll just chill. End step, if they don't do anything substantial, I can always just Leyline Bind this and then play out a Tamio. But most likely I'm going to be pitching her to force. We've drawn very well this game, considering... Okay, Glimmer Post, they gain 3 life. Because these count as locusts. They have a lot of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 ring could definitely be inbound here. Karn. I don't want them to get any card advantage here. I'm just going to go ahead and force. Karn makes Tamio terrible too. Okay, they let it resolve. We get another Riddler. That's great. That's 2 cards. They don't even attack. All right, I think I can bind this just to get it out of the way and draw a card. I don't think that's bad. I've got excess bindings here. Draw trigger. This Beanstalk has already drawn us like 4 cards or something like that. Yeah, Beanstalk has been very good to us this game. So we'll take that from them. We drew an island. Not the most exciting card to draw. I'm really scared of them finding the exile stuff guy, Ugin. That's like the biggest fear I have right now, is that it becomes that type of matchup. I can get rid of it, but it's awkward. I think this is just like blue Riddler here. And that's 2 more cards. And then if at any point I need to go to discard, I can always just waste the trainer, but I don't think that's worth doing. Okay, I ripped a Tamio. She's probably worth playing out. If I get another blue card for force. That's something I need first. I did. So I can play this next turn. So I'll just hold Tamio because I definitely don't want to pitch. Yeah, and I've got both Leyline Bindings up. This is great. We'll just go to this warp. I'm so happy with how this game's going. Like, this is a shot in the arm after the previous round. Adding some more blue. Is this another stock up? A Thunder Trap Trainer. I mean, I can just force it. I don't hate it. I'm going to get a force back as soon as I find a fetch. Okay, there's a fetch. So that puts a force on top of my deck. I think I will also just Leyline Bind just for momentum, because I want to find the remaining force in my deck. This card sucks. I made fun of it, and I think it beat me in a previous round. Like, I don't know if that's on film, but like my opponent was able to like Hull Breacher. I forced it, and then they had this in hand, and they used this to go get a second Hull Breacher, and they Hull Breached me. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and clear this, and I'll clear it with Leyline Bind, so I draw a card. Okay. Yeah, these plows are unlikely to ever get used, unfortunately. They can get that back by clearing this if they need to later. All right, so let's draw another land. That kind of sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and I can just put it on top first, and then it'll be less big. It's fine. I'll just make it big. Oh, yeah, I don't have enough mana in the yard. I guess I could just pay an extra mana. I don't think that hurts. Wait. Actually, let me think about this. So I want to have force up this turn cycle. I think I have to just accept it, that I'm not going to have the force up. Actually, I'll put force up on top, and then I'll just Riddler, and then I'll get 2 cards. And then I still have Murktide in hand. Yeah, so let's do that. Force on top. This is like effectively kind of force of will number 5 is what I think of this is, because you almost always want to just put force on top. If you have Beanstalk out, force is incredible. It's like just the best. Blue. So we're going off of all stack interaction here, but I think it's okay. We're drawing 3 cards or 2 cards. And there's the force we knew about. And do we get another blue card so I don't have to pitch my work? No, we get another land. I'm thinking about changing one of my fetches for another Lorien Reveal and just playing all 4. Yeah, I'll just bin this. It doesn't really functionally do anything. Like it costs us life. This might be their Ugin turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they can Ugin here. I can force it so they don't gain the life and get the card draw. I think that's probably correct, but they are going to almost certainly get rid of my Riddler here. Oh, yeah, I'll just force this. That would have yielded them like 2 intuitions effectively. It would have been really good. So, yeah, that was pretty much a slaughter. Even on the draw there, I feel like this is a reasonable matchup. Lavinia, get in the deck. Force Negations, get in the deck. And then, of course, Consign to Memory. Cards we don't want include Prismatic Ending and Plow. They're terrible against this deck. Like, Prismatic Ending can clear a Chalice of the Void, but like it's not really that big of a deal. Karn is in their deck. It makes me want to take out Tamio's. I'll leave 1 in. I think this is fine. Oh, I can trim some lands. I'll trim a land instead of a Tamio. So that way I just have a higher blue count. If I'm going to trim a land, I'm going to trim a freaking Plains. Yeah, everything else looks fine. I don't want to go any lower on land just in case I get mana screwed. We are a land-hungry deck. My kids are making lots of noise in the background if you hear them. I feel kind of bad just being so whiny. Previous round against lands. I mean, it's lands. It's been there forever. It'll be there forever. But this one's feeling a little bit better. Not that I enjoy playing against one ring decks. Let me find something to complain about. This hand is great. This is an incredible hand. So we can force fight as needed, and then we Riddler to rebuild. And again, I probably have said this a lot, but Riddler is really at his best when you are Hellbent, because you get 2 cards per upkeep. It's just insane. Two cards per draw step. You brainstorm and draw 4 cards. It's just the nuts. This card is what makes me feel comfortable going into leagues against one ring decks. All right, so we'll pass. We'll just get our Tri-Land in the end step probably. Okay, that's good. That's not representing something too desperate or like dangerous. I'm not going to force this. I don't really care about the body. It gives them selection, but it has to be a non-land, and land is the scariest thing in their deck because everything in their deck costs a fortune. They found a stock up, so that'll be a force, but I'm making them invest a bunch of mana. So Xander's Lounge. Okay, so we could Tomio here, and then we get a clue, and then we Riddler. I don't hate that, but if they Karn soon, I think I'd rather just pitch Tomio to force here and Riddle now, just because I'm going to want to Riddle every turn for the next few turns. So I'll go get a Tundra. I'll get a Tundra. I need both before I've got all the colors, but I am going to get all islands just so I can get my force back later. Draw trigger. Another Riddler. Don't hate it. Warps out. Your turn. If you invest all your mana into a... and I'll force with force negation here. Just so I can keep the force for Beanstalk land. Should we be headed that way? I'm not going to fight that. Again, we just do whatever you want with your early turns as long as you're not killing us. They don't have a land? If that is the case, we're really happy here. Kozilek's Command. Okay, that's an easy one to clear, and it's not that impactful against our deck. So attack for 1. They're mana screwed, as far as I can tell. Please don't play a land. Please don't be a second main phase land hipster. They are not. They are mana screwed. Love it. Okay. So here we could ponder. We could just hold up Hardcast Force Negation. I don't hate just getting another Riddler down, because they may not actually cast anything that is worth countering next turn if they're mana screwed. Let's go like this. Riddler. And we just want to find a land for next turn so that we can keep moving toward our Riddler in game. Okay, we found a land for next turn. Perfect. And after we play this, we can even regrow a force if we need to. So I'll just pass with a pretty stacked hand. Okay, they're coming in for 2. I often find myself just ignoring my life total in this matchup because it's so rare that it matters. We could just take a natural draw here. We might draw a brainstorm and want to move some stuff around. Well, my hand's pretty perfect. Okay, so that is a card that I was hoping to fetch. I'll just hold it for a turn cycle rather than crack the fetch here. And I think I just go ahead and do this again. Is there any harm? So next turn, these are going to start arriving and staying instead of just passing by. I'm not going to bother pondering. I certainly could have. Ponder feels like a great card to just keep in our grip. We can also Lorien Revealed if we want to, but I don't think that would be preferable to just getting the game over. We got so lucky that they got stuck on mana. I don't think that happens very often. Okay, so I'll just take a natural draw. They have to discard to clean up. Yeah, kick command into the yard. Oh man, you'd love to see it. Okay, Landline Binding. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. I haven't even put any cards in my graveyard yet, so I don't have any good targets for this late, but maybe I will later after a force fight. So I'll put Tundra out. There's quite a reasonable chance they force fight here. And do I let them 2-for-1 themselves? I probably force back and then try to get them to fight even more. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Blue, 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 blue. Actually, you know what? I'm not really favored in a force fight because they have a whole grip full of probably cards they can't cast. They exiled the stock up. I mean, it's a 2-for-1. If it comes out, am I willing to fight here? I think I'm willing to fight. And then if they fight back again, I'll just accept it. But I would get a card for this. They may force a negate. I would have force a negation in my deck if I were them. They do have a second force. Okay, you got it. 2 stock ups into exile. Love to see it. Next turn, we'll just try again. And I'll put a force on top of my deck. Riddler has just been absolutely insane. Okay, they do have the mana to do stuff now. But we exhausted their forces, so they won't be able to fight back here, most likely. 1 ring. No thank you. I'm not a fan. If they do have a force, it could be a ball game. They don't. All right. So we'll take 2. I mean, these are chipping away at us, but I feel pretty confident once Riddler's down, we'll be able to race. We only have to swing. We have to swing 4 times with the Riddler. They only have to swing 4 times. But I think we'll have more Riddlers where that came from. And we can always just exile their dudes if we need to. So this comes in. Let's put Force of Will back on top. Now let's go ahead and play our dude. Worth noting that we do have Leyline Binding on tap here. We get a card. The Force of Will that we put there, of course. I shouldn't be surprised. Have you ever seen the movie Memento, where he just constantly forgets everything that happened like a few seconds prior? Great movie. He has some sustained damage to his hippocampus and Baragoyf. Yeah, that's fine. I love saying Baragoyf. That's fine. That's not usually something that is in my vocabulary, but I'm happy about it. All right, so let's just clear this with our white mana here. Clean answer. This game is very under control. Okay, Murktide. I'll just play this out first, though. Why not? Draw my card. Second force. Okay. Yeah. They could do something here. Let's see. They have 1, 2. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have all their mismatching lands. We've gotten so lucky here. I can't think of anything that I would ponder for that would really be necessary here. I mean, obviously Consign would be good, but I wouldn't be able to cast it. I can maybe ponder next turn. Okay, Urza's Tower. Again, mismatched lands. We're so lucky. This is like the ultimate fail rate of their deck is what we're seeing here. Check it out. I'm on a Mac. If I wiggle my cursor, it gets bigger and bigger. Isn't that cool? It's just like an accessibility feature. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Desperate K command, which I am going to snuff. You don't get hope. Hope is of my purview, of my domain only. Good game. We're 2-1. Let's go to round 4. All right, we're on the play against somebody who wants to be pseudo-anonymous. Player 44. They are an artifact aficionado. And yes, I just choose that word because it's alliterative. This is a up the Beanstalk Leyline Binding hand. If we're okay with risking Wasteland. I think I am because I have Lorien as a backup. Yeah, this is a pretty good hand. They mulligan to 6. They play a lot of Affinity and Modern. Like I don't necessarily give too much credence to but if you look, like tons of Modern Affinity, and then they play like, is that Artifacts, whatever that is? Yeah, and Legacy. So I'll just presume they're on that. They could be on Eldrazi, which would be rough. Let's pass. Pedal. Okay. Are they going to warp? They are. All right. So the good news is we have Leyline Binding, and that clears up this, drone infestation quite nicely. Bad news is we don't have a clean answer if... Oh, they're warping a second one. Okay. Urza's Bauble. Man, they're creating a lot of dudes. I really want a Tomio to flip so I can just invalidate these. I don't know if we can race this. This is a pretty... Do you have any more? Please don't have any more. They do have more. Okay. I don't think we're going to win this game. I can bring in Terminus. I have been considering just playing 2 Terminus and taking out some of the Hydroblasts. I'm not even sure if we need Hydroblast. It's good, but I almost never play against Moonstompy. And even if we play against Moonstompy, we can probably win with the sheer volume of basics we have in our deck. So they get 2 cards. They have 6 drones. So we're on a 3-turn clock. It's like our opponent just empty the ones for 3, basically. Okay, so options. 1, I think we just stick this up the Beanstalk, hope to draw a force. I don't. The other option, of course, is we like start plowing, start filling up our yard with the hope of sticking a giant Murktide. They do only have 1 mana source here, but they did draw 2 more cards. So they haven't drawn a land to our knowledge, but like they most likely did draw it. If we get Beanstalk, then we have Cantripping, Leyline Binding, but I'm really worried that that's not the way we want to go. Because they could just jam a freaking Kappa next turn. And we're going to, like, if they do that, at least we're not taking any damage next turn. So I guess there's that silver lining, but we'll have to very quickly get a lot of lands. I think Murktide is the best antidote to the situation. I think value is of secondary consideration, as much as it pains me to say that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and, am I going to brainstorm? I think I just ponder, try to find something good, and then I'm going to Leyline Bind something that they do next turn. I could, of course, Leyline Bind the Mox, but they may have another one from hand. It's tough. I mean, my instinct is just like, this is basically 4 turns, assuming we don't have to force anything or fetch, that we have to find an answer. But there's no way we can get Riddler online in that time. If we find a Tamio, this becomes very simple. We just play Tamio, we flip Tamio. They can't attack us anymore. Tamio's going to make it so the bad man can't hurt us anymore. Let's look for Tamio. This is no Tamio. I think this is a shuffle. I mean, these cards are insane, but we are looking exactly for Tamio here. I'm going to play this out. If they don't do anything that's bind worthy, I'll just Lorien Cycle for a Tundra. This deck that they're playing, I'm assuming they're playing the European one. It has no backup plan. It's just like a unabashed aggro deck. It does have Force of Will, but that's literally the only interaction it usually has. Okay, this is bad news too, because these constructs are going to be freaking massive. So I may need to save this for a construct later. But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take one off the table right now, because it's material and I just don't want to take more damage. Every one of these that remains on the table is yet another thing that we have to deal with going forward. This may seem like a dumb kind of like anti-value play, but I'm just respecting the sheer velocity that they have here. Like the old me would have absolutely just beanstalked and hoped to figure it out, but that's not how things usually work. Okay, so I don't want to use this brainstorm because it, I think I Lorien for a land and then I just beanstalk here. Because I have to hold this brainstorm and then I'm riddling to 2 potential creatures. The other option is, once Beanstalk's out, then I can, I do want to make a land drop. So let's do that first. But what I was going to say is once Beanstalk's out, then Riddler draws 2 cards, which flips Tamio on its own. I'm glad we're on the play. Can you imagine how hard this would be if we were on the draw? All right. So we are getting our mana under us. So we will be able to potentially deal with a Blastoise, but it's unlikely that we will be able to. It's also possible they whiff on lands. I mean, they did have an extremely glass cannony hand. They may not have the Ancient Tomb, but if they have the Ancient Tomb, it's devastating. Okay, so they have another one, so that does allow them to stamp out constructs. And somebody was asking me in the comment section, is Wrath of the Skies not good enough for this? I think Wrath of the Skies could be in the sideboard. Terminus is something that like doesn't blow up your beans and also triggers beans, whereas Wrath almost never triggers beans. If it does, it's triggering beans for the last time because you're about to lose your beans. I mean, they have Blastoise too. I guess the question is how many artifacts they have left in their hand. Considering, okay, so we're only taking 2 here. I think the odds of us winning this game are less than 5%. I'm just going to say that. Okay, we're 13. I mean, we might just die next turn, but we're not facing a giant construct. This is kind of like a construct, but it's potentially unblockable. Right, and whenever it enters, so they can reliably give it unblockability with one of these Urza Sagas. So let's draw. Tamio's not good enough anymore, but we did get her. All right, so Instinct is Tamio. Let's do this. Tamio. Then I'll Riddler, and I'll keep up this Tundra in case I find another Leyline Binding, and then I can stop something. Or I could just Brainstorm and not Riddler, but like I think Riddler is so much better here because we get to keep the cards. And then we can Brainstorm on top of that if we absolutely need to. Yeah, and you could argue I shouldn't play that island in case I find a Wasteland because I could take out one of those Urza Sagas. I don't know that that's going to be a fatal mistake, but that might help. Probably not. Okay, yeah, this is not super helpful, but we do have a flip Tamio. They may feel inclined to attack. I think we just have to chill here. If we find another Leyline Binding, I mean, this is almost certainly going to die here, so we'll need to flip another Tamio. But if they try to go for us and ignore Tamio, they do so at their own peril. And we can potentially Leyline Bind if we find one. I might do an ugly in-step Brainstorm toward that goal. If they needle this, that is something I can clear too. They may be thinking that they'll do that. But like they're going to get it. The Determinus will get it from this, so they don't even need to make the constructs. I can Brainstorm and shuffle. Okay, so they just grabbed a pedal. Oh, they can cast Warp Dude. And this is whenever cast. I will force a Warp Dude. Chalice on 1. Okay, so you're forcing my hand here. I'm going to Brainstorm. I was probably going to Brainstorm anyway. I need to put these jank cards back. So if I waste here... Okay, so hear me out. If they do not kill me, I can... No, because I have to Lorien... I don't have to Lorien Revealed. I guess I can just put this back. Put this back. I mean, I'm certainly tempted to force here. But then I draw a bunch of jank that I don't want anyway. Like, I know those are bad cards. But I actually need to stop this if I want to have any chance of plowing. So I'll just force here. I will pitch... I mean, Lorien Reveal can actually draw us back into the game if Tommy is still standing after all this. So I'll do that. It feels bad. But we're just making the best of a terrible situation here. They have some sort of like Metallic Rebuke. So now, yeah, I think we're deterministically dead because we can't possibly... We know we have bad cards on top. And we can't possibly pay the ward. Yeah, so I'll just concede there. Okay. So, in this matchup, Lavinia is not great. But you can... Like, almost all their spells are creature. So I don't think we bring her in. Consign is not even good, unfortunately. It's just Terminus. That's all we bring in. And the card I take out is... I'll just take out, like, a Plains. They're not going to try to shut off our mana. You may be wondering, why not bring in Consign? All their big artifacts... Like, well... Okay, we're on the play. Yeah, actually, I am going to bring it in. But it's marginal, because almost all their big mana artifacts are colored. They're blue. So if we were to bring that in, what would we take out? It's unclear. I know we want all this removal. But this stops Chalice and this stops Patch Adams. Those are the two cards that it's really any good against. Everything else it sucks against. The game ends so quickly that Tamio may not be good, but Tamio was precisely what could have held back those drones had they not also had the Kappa. I think I'm going to play without the consigns. Again, leave a comment with the timestamp, but make sure you listen to my reasoning here. I really do believe that this is a pretty limited card. Yeah, I'll try this. Okay, this is fine. So we're just going to try to get on the Tamio Express elevator. I'm going to play her out immediately. That way, if they do Chalice... Well, if they Chalice, I'm definitely going to force it. I don't think there's any question as to whether that's a good force target. So I get Tundra here, and then next turn I can get Xander's Lounge. But I do want Tamio on the table, potentially creating clues. Even if she just creates one clue before flipping, it's well worth it. So we'll pitch the Ponder to force if we need to stop something, which we almost certainly will need to stop something. Like it's very rare that they just do land pass type plays. They shock that in. Emissary, I'm going to force this. Wait, I'm about to have a flip Tamio. I don't actually care about this. They know I have a force now, though, because I did click on it. They saw the life total change. That's fine. Go ahead. They could have a force of their own. But like, I'm going to basically assume that my Brainstorm is going to resolve and that these are not going to be able to touch me. Tormod's Crypt doesn't really matter. That shouldn't be in their deck. They may be worried about Murktide. I mean, this is the Force. Because this reveals a lot of stuff. I mean, technically I can Leyline Bind it, but it'll already have generated value. Do they have the Force back? They don't currently have blue mana for Metallic Rebuke, which is not a card that's stock. My opponent's not playing the stock list. I love Metallic Rebuke. They thought about forcing it, and then they decided not to. I saw their life total change. So they do have a force. So I think most likely they're going to force my Tomio here. Or force my Brainstorm. Okay. Which is bad news. But the damage that did is limited. Pinnacle Emissary can come back in like a turn or two. And it will be a pain. Riddler. That's a good card. I'm going to go ahead and just make them force my Brainstorm. I'll attack first. And like if I can get a force plus a blue card out of their hand for 1 blue mana, that's a 1 blue mana Hymn to Torok. Okay, and now I'm going to attempt my Brainstorm, which is almost certainly going to get forced. What? Okay, I'll take it. There's Savannah, which is precisely what I need for Leyline Binding next turn. But they are almost certainly going to nuke my graveyard. I'm tempted to put... Yeah, I think I put back this and this, and then I preserve a life. Yeah, I'll preserve a life by not having to fetch the Savannah next turn. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, do you have like something to do here? Really? I'm just going to get a Tomio? That's great. They may have like Pithing Needle in hand. That's another thing I could think of where they wouldn't want to use their force there. They may have... they may just bounce it back to hand, but it does save us 2 life here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they can do the Kappa. Okay, that's fine. I'm really happy that happened this turn and not the previous turns. Yeah, they're debuffed. Attack all you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the Lounge. Now I can just go ahead and hit this. I think that's correct. I could regrow a force. I want to get 2 cards. I can't do that. Like if I... Okay, so what I'm going to do... I'm going to go do this first. They still don't want to force. They are forcing. Yay, we did it. Okay, I don't actually care about the chalice. Check this out. Now, I'm going to go blue, blue, Riddler, because you're Hellbent, and I'll draw 2 cards, and then I'll pick up a... No, I'm not going to pick up a force, because I need to keep these off my back. I don't want them to like kamikaze and stop my my Tomio here. So we'll plus, and now we'll just pass. But that felt good to get 2 cards instead of 1. I'm obsessed with drawing cards. I heard it best described like legacy players. There's like some text you can put on any card that will make any legacy player's day, and that is draw a card. That's why Beanstalk is so popular. That's why I think Prof's Eidetic Memory is going to be a sleeper 2 years after it got published hit. I love that card, and I just discovered it recently. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw here. So I think at this point it might be worth just Leyline Binding this. Shields are down. We remove this, and then we can just ultimate. I think we win where we ultimate. Yeah, I'll just do that. Like, they're going to need a miracle to stop us in time. I don't want them to do anything here. I'll just go ahead and do this now. Now they don't have good attacks, and I'm going to ultimate next turn. They're going to need to find a Pithing Needle or like a Sink into Stupor or something here. Okay. Clean. Game 3. Does our strategy change on the draw? It like sometimes even worse on the draw. We don't need the land. I actually like our deck configuration perfectly fine. There is an argument for bringing in Force Negations just to have more turn 0 interaction, stop Chalice and stuff like that. I think I'm here for that argument. I think I want to bring a couple of these in. What do I want to take out? The sad reality is Beanstalk is not that great against their deck because the game ends before you get to draw your cards. We just care about surviving. We can trim some non-survival cards. It feels really bad to take out a Beanstalk. I mean, it's the core, it's the soul of the deck, and I'm boarding it out. But I've seen Pokemoki do it. It's not like I'm like a total madman. You can take out Mystic Sanctuary. It does feel pretty bad to do that. I think I take out an island. And then we've just increased our force count a little bit. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. It's tough. So we're going to live or die by our opening hand here. And I'll probably have to mulligan to find a good one. I don't think this is good enough. I think this is a trap. This does nothing if they chalice. Plow is certainly nice, but a lot of the cards that we need to plow have ward. I'm going to mull. My opponent's mulling for an aggressive start. This is much better. I'll put back the... Okay, I'm going to put back the Lorien Revealed. We're just going to open Xander's Lounge, most likely. If we don't have to open Savannah, I'll open Savannah if I have to plow something desperately. But it's difficult to imagine. I don't even think there's any card that you would need a plow turn to. We could put back the plow and just find it later once we've established our mana. I think it's fine. I'm going to do that. Yeah, because my understanding of the deck is there's just not really anything to plow that doesn't have like a bunch of ward. So you can find a removal spell later. I'll force Chalice. I probably force Warp Guy because he represents like the reason they kept the hand. Petal. Bobble. Okay, what are they doing here? Emery. That's a force. And if I'd kept the plow, I would have just plowed that. Like it completely escaped me that was in their deck. So frankly, I just had to force this. This is a must force card. I'm going to force pitching Lorien Revealed because I might be able to flip Tomio ahead of schedule with a Ponder plus clue. They force back. Okay, I think we might be screwed because they can draw 2 cards per turn for the rest of the game now until we can remove this. Like, there's a very small chance that we draw... they already have this. This is all they need. But I'm glad to see 2 Sagas in their yard because that's a very scary card. They can build up their mana with Mox Opal. They may have to just hang on and not crack this because they may have to find land. Okay, I think getting Tomio on the table is more important than getting Xander's Lounge out of our hand. I'm going to do that. So at least we can accumulate some clues here. So we'll get a Tundra, our best land. And then we'll play Tomio, and we will hope that they don't just explode all over us here. They're opting to bobble us. They see Xander's Lounge. Okay. They get their card. They're just digging for a land. Did they find a land? They found a Petal. So they're going to bring back something. Probably just an Urza's Bauble to draw again. They have that. Okay, so they can warp this in and they can create a dude. But I think it's just one dude. They're getting their Mox Opal back. Okay. So they'll have... Do they have another artifact in their hand? I mean, they'll be able to start using this next turn. They do have a Petal. Okay. So they have Mox Opal and Petal. So they've got a lot of mana now. But they don't have enough blockers to stop us from being able to profitably attack here. I really wanted to draw a plow. I feel so dumb for putting that plow back, by the way. I hope you know that like I'm going to be paying my penance for putting that plow back. It just didn't occur to me that Emery might be their opening because it seems like it kind of like not the way you lead. But like next turn they can pedal and then they can just bring what's her name back out of warp and I do want to draw a card more than I want to get the Xander's Lounge on the table. I mean, I might be able to find a plow if I ponder. And then I could just lounge if I don't. I think that's probably fine. Let's try this. If I find another cantrip, I can just use that. They're hellbent. Yeah, this is a mulligan for sure. Or a shuffle. These cards don't help us get where we need to go. Riddler is only a draw 1 at this point. Wasteland. Not what I wanted to see. I guess I'll just play at the lounge and I will attack just to create the clue. I'm not worried about my life total enough to hang back. Okay, so Wasteland is good if they find a Urza Saga. We actually need to worry about Kappa at this point. 1, 2. Yeah, they could like play the bobble out and then they're 1 away from Kappa. Okay, that comes out. If they're not opting to play the Warp Lady, 2 mana. Chalice on 1. Okay. The shuts off Brainstorm isn't out, but it doesn't stop us from doing other stuff. So they're going to see a random card of Wasteland. Okay. For their like no lander over there that's beating us with no lands. Okay. Untap. Draw. They got their card back. Riddler is not good enough to do what we needed to do here. And I can't get low enough to get 2 cards off of Riddler. Can I? I'd rather warp. Would I rather just crack a clue here? I think it's better to just crack a clue than to warp. Next turn we will be able to flip her. Let's come across. They haven't seen. They've just seen Wasteland, I believe. So I don't think we're. Wait, we can see what they've seen. Okay, they've seen Wasteland and Xander's Lounge. Yeah. So they don't know what the other cards in our hand are. So I could just play the Wasteland out here and use that to tap. But finding Wasteland, what could we find? Wait, if I play this and we draw a Leyline Binding, I can cast that and get rid of Emery. Yeah, that's an out. I'm going to do that. Blue, colorless. Yeah, I have all the colors. Come on, Leyline Binding. Okay, we just get another land. All right. Not really off to the races this game, are we? They're up to 2 cards in the hand, and they've got Emery. Ancient Tomb. They've unlocked a lot of mana. If they do have Kappa, they can cast him now. I do have a lot of mana, though, so I might be able to... Yeah, they're doing it. Okay, yeah, that's unfortunate. That's extremely unfortunate. Did I mention that's unfortunate? Okay, so this card. Just uniquely well positioned against basically all legacy decks. Not a good card in my humble opinion. Like I didn't play it in my Affinity build, but if you're just doing kind of a glass cannon aggro strategy like our opponent is, it's an extremely good card. They can even buff it here, and they'll always be able to reliably buff it. So I'm going to flip Tomio, and that's hopefully going to distract them for like 1 turn cycle maybe. That has to happen. They take a look at my Wasteland again. I don't have the resource to waste them here. They draw. Leyline Binding would be really good deck. Okay, so I think this is just crack both the clues. I'll play the Wasteland they already know about. I mean, I could crack a clue first. I'll go ahead and attack, create a clue. I'll crack a clue first, but like if I could get her off the table with like Leyline Binding, but like I feel like I do need to flip her to at least keep these off our back. Okay, Beanstalk is not bad. I can flip her with Beanstalk. I think it's better than flipping her with a clue. Let's go ahead and get a green source. All right, and now Leyline Binding is quite good. And we do have them. Okay, there we go. Yes, we have an answer. We have an answer if they don't have force. But yeah, it's going to be a long, hard road out of hell. Let's put it that way. Okay, so this is going to hit for like a bajillion, which I've come to say a lot on the channel lately for some reason. Okay, what is this? They're bringing the Pinnacle Emissary out of warp. That triggers... I mean, we might just die to these freaking drones. I really hope they just aim this at us and ignore Tomio, because then we'll be best positioned to be able to keep the drones at bay. Because they still have mana. Crack another bauble. We're taking 10? Insane. I think they're going to come at me. I don't think they're going to kill Tomio. We'll see. Tomio debuffs, and they are going for Tomio. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Okay. So the good news is we can flip Tomio this turn cycle. No, we can't cast Tomio because of Chalice of the Void. All right, so they draw up to 2 cards. Oh, wait. With this draw trigger on the stack, I should have freaking... Oh, no, wait. I have to play a land before I can do anything. I was like, oh, I could exile that. Well, they don't have force up. I mean, they may very well have force up. Okay, so they've seen this Wasteland a million times. I'm just going to cast it. It doesn't really matter. And then we're going to attempt to Leyline Bind this thing off the table. And then we're going to just die when they force it. But if they don't force it, we're not necessarily dead. So this comes in. This is going to target here. Okay, and now we're going to pay the ridiculous ward that they attach to this creature. Do you not know how easy it is to play artifacts in Legacy? Yes, I'd like to pay all this mana to prevent this. Okay, we are not stable. We're still being attacked. They still have this insane card draw engine, but we're a little bit closer to survival. Brainstorm was the draw off. Beanstalk, they're hitting us for 6 here. They can actually, and they can get another one lined up. Oh, we're basically dead next turn, I think. And they could just play another Kappa. But we do have the mana now to be able to bind it again should that need arise. And we can play out Riddler, but I'm worried that they're just going to have so many drones that it doesn't matter. That they can just fly around my Riddler and kill me. They have 3 cards in hand. Oh no. This is a really tough matchup for control decks. Okay. There is one Hail Mary draw. If we draw the Terminus, that is how we get back into this. Terminus, please. I can't brainstorm set you up, but if you are in my deck, I will be supremely happy. Terminus Whisperer. Holy cow! I'm sorry. Oh, my voice. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, I'd like to reveal this. Yes, I'd like to pay. Come on. Let me do it. Let me win. Let me survive. I just want to live. Regardless of what happens here, I want to go up to 2 Terminuses. This is too nerve-wracking. The odds of that were too low. Oh my goodness. Okay. We get the draw trigger, but do they have the force? Oh my goodness. What a dream come true. We even drew a freaking card off Beanstalk for it. That has to feel really bad for my opponent. They have to be like, okay, I got this guy dead to rights. And nope, you don't. They could still stop my Riddler, but I'm not going to like wait around. Let's see. If I waste this, I actually take them off this. But I can't do anything else. I'm just going to Riddler. Yeah, let's Riddle. Oh, wait. I could waste this and I could warp. I think that's better. Let's warp first. I'm not in a hurry now that like the pressure has been greatly relieved. Love to find a Leyline Binding to take out that Chalice. They can't even pay for it. They can pay for it to like just get the card out of their hand. But I am going to be wasting their seat here. And I do get the trigger regardless. Okay, Beanstalk is fine. Unfortunately, I can't cast it because of the way I tapped. That sucks. That was probably an oversight. We get another card. It is a strand that we can't immediately use. All right, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and waste here just to lock them off tapping Opal. They're going to do something here. They're going to sink that. Ooh, we could die. We could die. We could absolutely die here. I didn't think about that. All right. No, wait. Yeah, I have to wait a turn cycle. So it sees itself. And then it's just a question of like, do they have enough stuff? I don't think they do. But I have to spend like an entire turn cycle getting rid of this again. Okay. Wow. That was a strong play from the opponent. So it's interesting they chose to sink that and not sink the Terminus. I guess I could have just recast the Terminus. Emery, they're coming out really, really strong here. They're like very quickly rebuilding. I don't know if I can win. Oh, I can just, if I thought about it, I could have just put the Terminus back on top, but it didn't occur to me that they would be coming out this strong. Okay, so I have to kill this, and then I'll search and I'll put Terminus back on top of my deck just in case. Okay, so let's think about this. I'm at 4. They have 1 card. They can't rebuke it. I can stop this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the... I do have plenty of islands here. I have to do it after I cast this. So I'll get a natural draw first. Blue, white. No, I'll just pay white first, I guess. White. Cast it. Trigger. Murktide. Oh, that's pretty good. So we have to pay 4. We're not going to be able to do anything else this turn, unfortunately. We just have to clear this. All right, I will target that. All right, and now I will just pay a bunch of mana. Blue, blue, blue. Yes. Okay, and it was very important that I didn't need to fetch there, because once you put the thing on the stack, you can't fetch anymore. It's really annoying. Okay, so let's just pass here. I don't have force up. I do have a clear win con in this Merc. They can return a bauble. Oh, wait, how did that even get in their graveyard? I didn't see that. Okay, that's fine. So I'll just put Terminus back on top. Wait, did I take out? I didn't take that out, did I? Let me see. View sideboard. Please tell me I did not take out the Mystic Sanctuary. I didn't. Okay, good. They're chalicing on 1 again. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't have enough now. Okay, they're going to do that. That's fine. Okay, this is back. All right, they see the trigger. All right, don't screw this up. Be excellent. Do not screw this up. We've been given a lightning bolt from the heavens here. Draw step. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. I'm going to click. I'm not going to use hotkeys here. Yes is on the stack. Let's cast it. I will pay 1 white mana for the pleasure. Okay. This goes on the stack. They're hellbent. Okay. They don't have anything going on. 3 minutes. More than enough time to kill with the Merc. They're hellbent. We've got this game. My opponent's got to be extremely frustrated. They've been so close to victory so many times. This is definitely an argument for Terminus over Wrath of the Skies here, because we would have died had Wrath been the card. Okay, they've opted to make me wait like 2 or 3 minutes here. Let me check my connection. Okay, it's working. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win, friend. You can make me wait here all day. I'm not going to get up from my seat. I'm just going to sit here, watch this tick down. I'm going to stick the Murktide as soon as I have priority, and you are going to die. It's just a question of how difficult you want to make this for yourself. They can't even draw a Sink into Stupor. Like, they could draw exactly Adawara. They could have a genuine connectivity issue, but I would not fault them at all for just storming off and being tilted. But unfortunately, I do have to sit here and monitor the clock because I'm low enough. Okay, it resolved. Okay, so now we're just going to go Beanstalk, draw trigger. Okay, they scooped. Yeah, we were about to win with Merc. I'll just reveal my hand so they didn't see that like they were dead. Okay, we'll jump to the next round. We are 3-1 after an incredibly, like all these have been incredibly hard fought, except for the one right before this. But like basically all 3 of these rounds have been incredibly intense. The lands was probably the most intense, but this is definitely the most touch and go. Right, final round, and it is not a good matchup. My opponent only plays Omnitel. So I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Frankly, we need stack interaction. We can't count on Tommy's to get us where we're going. These double plows are basically dead against their deck. Oh, it's going to be one of these games, huh? All right, let's mulligan again. I can't believe that. I'm still like that miracle top deck. Miracle. I will keep, I'm going to just put back the lands. This is not bad for a 5. Yep. Our opponent's almost certainly going to ask, oh, is this the face of Omnitel now? I think they're just on 12 posts, which, you know, this is good against that too. The hand is good. It's not a favorable matchup. Yeah, my instinct is them showing this cloud post. What would we be looking for on a ponder here? I want to fill up my yard for a Merc. That's how we're going to clear them. We're going to try to turbo them. The game does not get better for us the longer it goes on. Wasteland would be a great find. Leyline Binding is not good enough. It's too far away. I'm going to any order shuffle this. We don't necessarily need a lot of land. Plow's a dead draw, probably, unfortunately. If I find a Brainstorm, I'll just shuffle it away. Okay. Thundertrap Trainer. Where have I seen him before? Round 2. Or round 3, I think. Is when we encountered him. Yeah, so they're on basically the exact same 75, I would presume. We just have to hope their lands comically do not match like they did against that player where they've got like 1 locust and 1 tower or 2 towers. And yeah, that was very fortuitous, and hopefully we'll get someone similarly lucky here. All right, come on, Brainstorm, fix my hand. Okay, so this is not bad, but I think I just want to go ahead and grab the Tundra first, just in case I want to keep these. And then, like, worst case scenario, I guess I could plow that. I don't think it's ever correct to plow this thing. It's not going to be a meaningful game piece. All our creatures have flying. Like, literally all of them have flying. So they just fly right over the little 1/1 dude. Okay, so Ponder or Tundra. Yeah, I'll keep the white up just in case. Yeah. So we're just filling up our yard. Second force, third land. I don't like this. I don't want the plow. I'm going to any order shuffle. Probably get a plow anyway. We do. All right. So if we get in a force fight, like, and we could plow, get hellbent. I mean, I actually might plow just to get lower in cards so I can Quantum Riddler, but that means that I'd be pitching Merc along the way. I mean, I actually I hate to do this, but I think Riddler is better overall than Merc is. I'm going to pitch Merc. And I'm just doing this, like, they've got tons of mana. I could save this for a one ring, but I've heard a little bird told me you should always force stock up. I hate doing this. This feels so wrong, but I'm going to do this just in case I draw a land. I can get 2 fresh cards. All right. And I could be sticking a, 7/7 here, but instead I'm going to draw not a land. And then I'm not going to collect $200 when I pass go here. I'm just going to get 1 card. Yeah, I mean, it didn't check out. I definitely would have been better off just murking there. They could have had like a Sink into Super or something, but yeah. I mean, drawing all this removal against a deck that really doesn't have any permanents worth removing. I mean, we can remove that if we draw a land, but it's not good. It'll be card negative. They'll be able to bounce it later and get their ring back. It's pretty disastrous. Yeah, they've got tons of mana. I'm trying to stay up positive here. This matchup improves immensely after board. I don't think flipping Tamiyo does enough. If I find exactly Xander's Lounge, I can lay line mine that. I'm going to brainstorm here. If I find a fetch, actually fetch for Xander's Lounge does it. Okay, this is great. So bye-bye Plow. Bye-bye Tamiyo, I think. Yeah, it's just too slow and Karn invalidates her. Let's do that. Play this out. Let's go get our Xander's Lounge, and we will attempt to grab that before they can go to town with it. But I mean, they're probably gonna have a force here. And anybody who's like, you're actively invoking the things, you're making it a reality by saying they're gonna have a force. You're making it a reality by saying you're gonna draw a plow. That's not how reality works. I'm just making crazy idea. Sometimes I'll get lucky. So maybe it's my instincts that are increasing the likelihood of, but like they're 10 cards into their deck. They probably have like a, 60% chance at this point of having drawn force. But yeah, we're in a really rough spot here. Okay. So they're drawing up to 5 and like forces beget forces. Like they're going to be able to just defend this thing until they're drawing vast quantities of cards. They also have 7 mana, so they can cast the Exile dude at their leisure. We just don't win game ones against this deck, frankly. I think we won a game one against it previously just because we got extremely lucky. If we had Merc out, Merc would have not done a damn thing here because they played this, I think the same, like the turn after. So Merc wouldn't have even attacked yet. So playing Riddler actually got us deeper into our deck, and Riddler actually ended up being the correct play in retrospect. Stock up, we're dead. I mean, the amount of card selection and card volume that they've gotten already, doesn't matter if we go up the Beanstalk and Riddler and stuff. Like, we can do it. I'm not giving away. Like, they're probably 100% pegged us to be on Bant Beanstalk here. Yeah, now they got 6 mana. I don't really need to keep playing. Yeah, Karn. Okay, good game. Okay. Big and hard. That's a great username. So Lavinia comes in, Force Negations come in, Consigns come in, Plows come out, Prismatic Endings come out, Land comes out, probably the basic planes, and we need 2 more cuts. Oh yeah, the Tamiyos come out. Yeah, against the Karn deck. And if I kept Tamiyo, she would have created a clue, which we've never had the mana to crack, and then Karn would have come down and shut off those clues. She's terrible in this matchup. Did they have Chalice that game? I don't think. No. The different like Ancient Tomb matchups are all blending together. And I actually think like, yeah. Well, Lands, was it playing? It might have been. This is why you have to play Wasteland. And I think actually we'd be way better off if we were playing a third. I decided to cut a Wasteland before this league. I'm thinking about going up a Wasteland and down a fetch, and then also maybe down a second fetch so we can play 4 Lorians. That will reduce our total blue count slightly if we go up. I need to think about that. Yeah, I regret that I have only 2 Tamios that I can cut because I would love to cut more, but I feel like these other cards are even worse. I mean, they could have Chalice. It's not that big of a deal. Let's run it back. You can consign through a Chalice. You can do lots of things around a Chalice when you're this deck. So this is an okay hand. Turn 2 Beanstalk, and then we just start riddling. We could just put this crappy card out first. I don't really want to mull. Because, I mean, we're drawing 2 cards per turn per riddler, and we might be able to outrun them. And this Leyline Binding is good if the game goes long. So what I'll do is I'll play this out, then I'll get a Savannah. Yeah. I think this card looks really sweet in retro border. I mean, it really does look like a card that could have been printed back in like 95 or something like that, 96. Thematically, too sophisticated for those times, but still very cool. Nexus. So they're likely to force fight over this. Consign's a great rip. It'll be important 2 turns from now. Now's not the critical turn where Consign is really that important. Let's see if we can get this off. If this works, we're favored. It's in. Okay, that's great. And force negation. Freaking sick rip. Okay, so we're not even going to bother with Merc. We're just going to force negate and consign our way out of this. I do want to Riddler next turn, and hopefully I draw an island. So the way you beat this deck is you waste their lands. But if you're not like a waste-happy deck like Delver or some of the other tempo decks I play a lot of, you are really just going to need to outcard them, which is hard to do if they resolve One Ring, let me tell you. Okay, Underground Sea. It's totally possible they pivot onto Barry, but Barry gets exiled to Leyline. But they could overwhelm our Leyline bindings by just presenting too many threats that need to be binded. All right, opponent's passing. No further plays. Misty is a great rip. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's riddle. So this can go get Tundra. This can go get the... yeah, that's good. Now we draw another card. Lavinia, I love it. I'm going to try to stick her next turn. We're very quickly... Like, our hand is pretty stacked here. So if they pass the end step, I will go get the lounge. I think we can just force this. I'll pitch a Merc. He's pretty far from useful. Okay, and now we can lounge. Just imagine walking into Xander's Lounge and seeing Lavinia chilling there, like completely wrecking some big mana player's day. All right. So let's go ahead and draw. Land would be welcome. I could just Tamio and then like Flipper and probably find a land along the way. I am worried that Lavinia will get forced. I think the odds of me not finding a land are pretty low here. So I am going to go for this. But that does open us up. Oh man, it really does open us up to One Ring. I really want to hold with this consign. I really want to hold it up and even replicate it. Because if they force, like if they play One Ring, I can, consign. And then even if they have a force, it's not that big of a deal. I think I'm just going to do that for turn. I'm just going to play super conservatively. The game is mine to lose from this position. Okay, they're not doing anything. They probably have K command here. Force is a great rip. So K command, we can limit the amount of K behind their command. I'm going to go ahead and come in for a hug, and then I'll try to brainstorm. Okay, let's see if we can get a land off this. And I think I do consign if they attempt to K command. Actually, consign is too important, I think. Interesting they just stopped there. They just want to get rid of her. I could just accept the 2-for-1. I think that's totally reasonable. No, it's not a 2-for-1 because they get to draw a card. The main concern I have is if they have the Ugin, I need to have consign up for that. So I'm actually going to force here. Pitching Quantum Riddler, that is a very expensive force of will. I'm going to do it. Let's draw trigger. I can Leyline Bind. if I need to flip her again on top of this. So they're going to disrupt her flute. I think that's fine. I'll let it come in and then I can just leyline bind. Depending on what they name. Ponder, still not finding land, which is really troubling. Okay, so this name, Tamio. All right, so she's going to flip, which is fine. Okay, we did find land. Okay, so I'm going to put back a couple ponders. She flips. Now I no longer have consign. Wait, I do have consign with replicate. Check this out. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and leyline bind. This is going to put the trigger on the stack. I'm going to go ahead and fetch. Just so I can clear. I'll get a Tundra here. This game is going exceptionally well for us. And maybe this is an indication that Lavinia just isn't good enough because like I feel like consign is so important. Maybe I should play her instead of holding up consign here. So I've got force blue card and she will be good against them. Plus, let's think about it. So yeah, I think this is just blue-white Lavinia. And I'm not going to force to protect this. But with that, then we don't have to worry about the big scary Planeswalker coming out. We do have to worry about Karn. This could be Dismember. I'd be stunned if they're playing Dismember. It doesn't kill any of our creatures except for Lavinia and Tamio. Next turn, I'll just regrow a Force probably. This is a chess match of a matchup for sure. Because the game gets way better for them. Like the longer the game goes on, the better it gets for them. But we can meaningfully disrupt in ways they can't. We just have so much more interaction than they do. Thunder Trap's fine. I'm not going to fight that. They reveal Force Negation. Paying 4. If this is like the One Ring or Karn, that's going to get Force. They can't defensively use, or they can't offensively use Force Negation. They should print a Force of Will where it says like, you know, as long as none of your spells are on the stack, you can cast it or something like that. I know that's more complicated, but that would be more powerful than Force Negation, but it wouldn't suffer from the same issues of Force Negation just being really bad. They're just using this ability. What are the other abilities? And they're creating Scions. Okay, well, I'm just going to force. And they can't even force back because they can't cast spells that are free. They don't have any mana left. So we get a draw here. That dies. So Force Negation is actually pretty bad for them because of Lavinia's presence here on the board. Another land. I can warp him out and then I can just bring back Force. I don't hate that. I think that's fine. Because they'll have to answer like a perfect storm of like things happening on the side of the table. So we get our card. Force Negation's good. I'm going to minus here. Just going to get a Force of Will. And then we have Force Blue card here for whatever they try to do this turn. And I guess I can attack. Yeah, I'll just attack. The main thing I'm worried about is them having like some sneaky series of plays. Like if they Ugin, it's not clear what they try to target with that, and I will force that, and they won't be able to force back. So Ugin might target this, but then I can force, and they can't force back. Okay, Waterlog Teachings. I'm going to let that happen. I don't have to let that happen. Could be a creature with flash, but I'm not sure what it would be that would be that devastating. Could be the Merfolk guy. Long Goodbye. Okay, they're going to Long Goodbye this. Probably Lavinia. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so next turn, they're going to have the big dude. So I need to do a lot of damage this turn. Okay, that's a good draw. Let's go here. I am going to attack, and then I will just hold up Hardcast Force. Force Negation, Leyline Binding. That's a lot of interaction to hold up. Land for turn. All right. We'll see whether they can work their way out of this. But we have a lot of interaction. I think we're almost certainly going to go to game 3 here. They may have to exile this to stay alive. They scoop. Okay. I thought they had, but then they may have realized, I can't actually cast it because I'm going to do damage to myself with Tomb. Okay. That was a clean game. Go to the final game of the entire league. This has been a grinder of a league. My goodness. This is going to be like a 2-hour plus video. So time-wise, we're doing fine. We got 13 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I'm here for this. So this is just like chill, basically. Like I probably will just get my ETB tap lands rather than using Ponder. I could Ponder for a force, but I want to like hold up Consign as much of the time as I can. I probably don't even play this until I've got 3 lands out so I can keep Consign up. I'm just really worried about them one-ringing us. And Karn is basically the one ring. I don't know if I caught this on video, but like somebody actually used Karn to take the one ring that was under a Leyline Binding, and it was so tilting. Because Karn can apparently access cards that are exiled with Leyline Binding too. Okay, this is fine. Hopefully they don't name Misty Rainforest. Interesting they're just choosing to do it. Okay, up the Beanstalk, that's fine. Yeah, that was a good name. It is probably what killed them last game. I don't know. There was such a confluence of things that killed them last game. I'm going to go ahead and Tomio here, and they can, potentially exile her, but it'll get it out of their hand. You know what? Can I do this? I don't know that I can. Yeah, I should not have fetched here. If they just one ring, it's pretty catastrophic. I don't have a clear recourse. And yet, they'll know that I have Consign if I don't do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yeah, I think they may just one ring and just not care, but they have to have exactly a second Ancient Tomb. There aren't any other things that give them 2 mana immediately. Glimmer Post, okay. So they have 3 mana. So I think I'm okay. I don't think I'm going to get one ringed here. I don't think they play Petal, but they could exile this and they would cantrip in the process. Yeah, just doing it. That makes sense. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate for us. It's not a 1-for-1. It's a 2-for-1 because they get a card off of this. This card is broken, by the way. Like I have a lot of disdain for this card. I promise I'm not like a super negative person in person, but like this does all kinds of really disgusting things to the color pie. Let's see whether they keep the top. I think this is probably going to be a Ponder and then hold up the ability to shuffle in case I want to. And then I can ETB. Unless I draw Wasteland. If I draw Wasteland, then I'm just squarely aiming that at the Ancient Tomb here. Okay, and they opted to top the top card, so they've got a good one. Leyline Binding's great. So I'll just plan to consign with Replicate if necessary, and then I can get the end step. I can still play Beanstalk out. It just costs 5 mana. Where's this tower? They have 4 total mana. All right, I am going to go ahead and just grab Xander's Lounge here. The next one can grab Savannah or Trop. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They don't have any land destruction in their deck. Another consign, welcome. Very welcome. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... I mean, I could just lay them by and play it, but that seems totally irresponsible. Yeah, I could take 1 or 2 of these cards. I'm not doing anything else this turn cycle. Let's see what we find. I mean, Force is a snap keep. I probably don't need this other Leyline Binding. I'll just take the Force and then... I mean, I could Tomio now, but they could easily have just K-Command as their card. And then they get yet another card in deeper into the deck. Yeah, I'm going to go like that. And like if they Karn here and like it somehow makes it through double consign, what I'm really looking for, I think, is land. So I do think I probably shuffle away because I have Beanstalk in my hand and I can still cast it. It's just a mana question. But I probably won't cast it until I have lots of mana up for consign. Okay, so I'm just going to go get a land here. Yeah, let's go do that. I understand Tomio seems like a good card to put on the table, but I don't have confidence that I'll be able to crack the clues in time. If I get a land, I might go for Merc. I might instep Leyline Bind that just so I can start cranking out these beans. It's unfortunate I didn't draw a card there, or like a land there. I'm not going to Merc. I need like 1 more card in my graveyard before I can do that, and it's just really small. My opponent is just building their mana base here. Okay, wow, they're not building their mana base. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attempt this. I just need to move the game forward. The longer the game goes on, like we're lucky they're not ripping insane stuff, but we can't wait forever here. I think if they force this, though, I don't push back. They may just have another Disruptor Flute. They have to have some stuff in their hand. It could all just be a really high mana value stuff. They may be just waiting for me to blink and tap out, and then bam, one ring. Okay, let's take that out. They could stifle the trigger, but they don't have access to blue. You know what? They probably have a lot of blue cards in their hand. Okay, choose 3. They're creating these tokens that they can sacrifice. I don't really like that. I think this is just a consign. And I'll go ahead and replicate the consign just to make sure it works. And now they can fight over this if they want to. I just didn't want to give them like 2 cards. Okay, so that fizzles. And now we get their thing. Come on, land. Just give me a land, please. I'd really like a land deck. Ugh. So, Merc could come in and just clock them. I'm going to go ahead and go for this just in case I can find a land. I've got like 2 layers of insulation up. They force. I just let it go. I've got another one next turn. Yeah, it's unfortunate. They're hurting for lands too, believe it or not. But like casting a Murktide with a Beanstalk out is so much more effectual than just casting a Murktide and having it, bounce to hand or something like that. Lavinia. I think I would just go for this. I really want land. They're forcing again. At this point, it doesn't make sense to force back. I've got this extra Merc. I'll get a card for it. I'm going to try it. This does mean we're going shields down to an extent, but they haven't done anything in like 3 turns. All right, come on, land. Give me a land, please. Okay, finally. My goodness. Okay, and now I've got a consign with replicate. And I'll just pass, and I'm just going to be super patient. Next turn, Lavinia is going to come down, and the following turn, Mark's going to come down. But Lavinia is a threat with them tapping this tomb. She may be good enough on her own. Okay, they did find land, so now the blue cards are up. So this is probably like one of their many card quality cards. Stock up. I can't stop this. It's terrifying. They have so much mana. Definitely going to keep the consign with replicate up. I think I might actually Murktide rather than Lavinia here. Because they can already cast all their scary stuff. Well, let's see. I actually I can keep them off the Planeswalker. If I Lavinia. This is a great freaking set of games. I'm having a blast here. I feel like this deck was always very frustrating to play against with traditional control decks, but now we have like the Apex Predator control deck, and it doesn't feel nearly as rough as it used to. Oh, such a nice rip. And with that, I think we probably can Merc. Because I can counter and consign. And they've already used 2 of their forces. This will draw 2 cards. It might draw 1 card rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to get enchantment out of our graveyard for Baragoyf. Draw trigger. That's nice. Okay. All right, so that's 2 swings. If they resolve the Planeswalker, it's devastating. So now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, mana. 6 mana in the pool. 7. Okay, here it comes. All right, and this is the card that I was really, really bitchy about when it came out. I'm going to attempt to do this on both the sides of this. Cast with replicate. Let's stop the trigger, and then we'll stop the spell, and we'll hope one of these goes through. If we'd Lavinia'd instead of this, this wouldn't be a problem, because we wouldn't have to worry about them forcing. Okay, that worked, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to 4-1 this league. Yeah, that's great draw. I'll just get another land. It doesn't hurt. My hand's perfect. I don't need to change anything. Don't you go changing. I can just get a Sanctuary and put another consign on top. It seems good. This grows the Goyf or the Merc as well. Grow the Goyf. I'm so used to saying that phrase. Yes, grows the Merc. Okay. Now I'm going to go white, blue, Lavinia. We'll go ahead and attack here, and we'll pass. They not only have to remove Merc, they have to, if they tap that tomb, they also have to remove Lavinia. They don't know that I have Consign. I haven't drawn it yet. But they can't do anything too scary. They could One Ring. I'll double Consign that. They won't be able to force back. That's fine. That does protect them for a turn cycle from Lavinia if they can clear the Merc. They use their blue mana. They can get more blue mana off Planar Nexus. They still have access to 6 mana. They said GG's. I agreed. Amazing games. Yeah, so they're going to play a Goyf, but it doesn't matter. They said I could draw more lands this game. Yeah, you got mana screwed 2 games, I think. Yeah. All right, cool. They're going to watch the video. Shout out to Big and Hard for being a chill opponent and for some real chess match legacy to end out this amazing league, capped off by that incredible, miraculous draw of Terminus. So let's talk about the deck build. Everything feels great. I love having the Mercs. They really helped. They really helped. Both defense and Lavinia was good there. So I'm tempted to just take out both the Hydroblasts. I just think it's very niche. It's really good against Delver. But like 2 Terminus is good against Delver too, especially now that they're using Corey. And I saw Echo Baron put up a league with, he was using the Boomerang Basic Storm Chaser talent combo in a Delver shell, and that looked really effective too. So I think Terminus might be like a really good card right now. I mean, it was obviously a lifesaver in that matchup. We cast it twice. We would have died twice if we hadn't had this in our deck. Only shadows get to die twice. So what changes would we make? I mean, like Lorien was insane the entire league. I'm so tempted to bring her up to 4. And then I'd like to bring this up to 4. And then I'd like to cut a couple fetches. Because you draw these late game and it's actually good. You draw fetches late game and it's actively bad. That's my instinct here. And then we need one more card for the sideboard. I mean, Lavinia was clearly really good. She does pitch to force. You could play a second one. It's not that bad if you draw a second one. There might be some other card that we could put in the sideboard. We could play a Wrath of the Skies. But again, like, it only hits our Beanstalk, but it also hits all our clues. It hits our Tomio if she hasn't flipped yet. I'm not sure about it. And also double white. Like, you don't want to have to fetch double white because you're trying to fetch your Xander's Lounge and you're trying to, get your basic islands as well in a lot of situations, especially against Delver. I think Terminus is way more flexible. It's less flexible, but it's way more powerful. It saves us where Wrath of the Skies would not have. Yeah, I really needed that league to end well. I was super tilted after that second match against Lands. Oh my goodness. They had like the most insane hand. I'm still going to have nightmares of, Mox Diamond into Life in the Loam. And they had Exploration as well. Lands is a very powerful deck. If you want me to play it on the channel, I may. It's not really my playstyle because it does just get destroyed by combo. But it definitely destroys decks like mine, destroys tempo gamers. I'm really not sure about this final sideboard slot. Leave feedback. If we look, like, I just didn't want to do a quick, since I made some changes to the mana base, like, you don't necessarily need to have blue mana turn 1. It is really nice to be able to reliably cast Tomio. Right now we actually only have 13 initial blue sources. No, we have 14. It's just that this comes in play tapped and this comes in play tapped. Yeah, I think that's enough with the 4 Loriens. But Lorien was great. I don't know if we actually cast Lorien, but just having it hanging out is an option. I think we did cast it one game, and I think it was impactful. The fact that it pitches to force, unlike there were lots of situations, especially when you regrow your force with a Mystic Sanctuary or with a Tomio, where you really need to have additional blue cards. And our blue count currently is 27, which is pretty good, but it's not exceptional. It's just good enough, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know what we would do to the sideboard. Like, if lands is a problem, you can put loam in the sideboard. Like, that definitely is an option. I just don't know where we board it in. It is good against loam pox and lands itself. But if they have the exploration out, it doesn't really matter. The other option is you just put another prismatic ending in the sideboard. I think that's probably the safest bet here. Just put a prismatic ending in the board. It's a really good card against tempo. We didn't face any tempo this league, I don't think, but it is the most represented archetype right now. I think between blue-black and blue-red, and I've even seen some people playing blue, like mono blue, like my Boomerang Basics deck. That's probably like at least 25% of the meta. So, and a lot of this is also really good against really any aggro strategy. So yeah, that would probably be the card I play instead of Pyroblast. It's very rare that I run into like Moonstompy, and that's really the only matchup where you care. The fact that we have 4 Lorians, like in theory, we can still win if we just go find our 2 basic islands and are able to jam a Murktide even under Blood Moon. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm having an absolute blast playing this incredibly powerful deck. Even playing suboptimally and, going to time against lands in round 3. Like, I feel like this is just, it's such a breath of fresh air to actually have a control deck that has the tools to be able to stand up. I have been playing a lot of tempo lately because control just hasn't been good enough against like Entomb. Not that they decided to reprint Entomb again now that it's banned. It's just staring me in the face. I can't escape it. Every time I load up MTGO, they show me this thing. But now that Entomb's gone and Nadu's gone, like kind of the inevitability of Nadu and the explosiveness of Entomb, control actually has a chance now. And, another card we could play, for example, is Dress Down. That actually would have been pretty insane in this league. Maybe Dress Down's a better option than Prismatic Ending here. I don't know. I think Prismatic Ending is probably better because we need a tool to deal with DRC against Delver. But that is another option if you don't want to play 2 Terminus. Certainly the first Terminus, like, it's diminishing marginal value. But if I'm going to be going up against enough of these really aggro strategies, I do want to have Terminus in my wheelhouse. And I definitely feel great that I put it back in. I'm really feeling that the list is tightening up. I don't think Solitude is necessary. I can certainly see the argument for only playing 2 Wastelands, but like, how good would Wasteland have been that entire league? 2 lands matchups and 2 12 post? Like, it's basically the best card you can have in the matchup, and we only had 2 of them instead of 3 of them. And a lot of people are out there playing without any, and they're like, how do you not get color screwed all the time? How do you not get mana screwed when you're drawing Wastelands? And that comes up too. That's a very legit consideration. But I think just having a high volume, like, we've effectively got 23 land sources if you count Lorien as a land source, right? Like, that's probably enough. So I'll leave it there. This is definitely a work in progress, this deck, but just the sheer volume of 4/1s and trophies I'm getting with it, like, gives me indication that I'm heading in the right direction. Beating Larson the other day, like, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I guess I just did. I beat him, the Eternal Weekend Europe champion. He was on Doomsday. That was a pretty exciting match. Being able, like, I think this is the second time with this deck where my opponent has had like a turn 2 Kappa and I've still managed to survive. And there are very few decks that can make that sort of claim in Legacy. Like, there are very few decks where a turn 2 Kappa is not death. Like, obviously combo decks don't care, but like decks that are trying to actually win through like combat damage and maybe stabilize the game somehow, like tempo decks and stuff like that, like turn 2 Kappa is almost always death. So I feel like this is just really, really solid. And I'll quit talking. I'll let you get back to your day. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic time and be excellent to each other and party on.